It'll never stop being fun. Oh,
Guys,
Yeah.
I think it's time
Guys, are we
go
live?
to Flavor Town.
Oh.
Yes, we are. We are live. Technically, we
going
went
to
live
Flavor
right
Town?
as Masha said, "Oh," before taking a bite from her sandwich. So
I haven't taken a bite yet. I would like
Well,
everybody to
she's
know that
just
I am
about-
about to
well,
enter
well,
Flavor
I
Town.
see you.
the
There's
sandwich
2
says
bites in
something
that
different.
sandwich.
Yeah.
Well-
you can't say that you haven't because
We
the
see
evidence
the
is right there.
evidence.
If
in
you've
front of
not
you.
taken a bite,
Is your bread not shaped this way?
Your bread not come with free bacon.
Wow,
Yeah.
California is just such a different place. It's
Dude. Anyway, guys, welcome to Flavor Town. I'm your host.
nope.
Hello. I'm glad we did this. This is good.
Yep.
We're always good at the startups.
Yes.
I'm
Fun.
always eating.
Anyway,
That's
guys.
it. That's all right.
Cool. Welcome to TurnTables RPG. We are a weekly tabletop role-playing group game that every few mysteries we switch up who's keeping. I'm sorry, I was completely took out of.
That's what happens when you mention Flavor Town and everything else
Yeah,
goes
it's-
away.
Flavor Town is just completely
It
taken
is
over my mind.
legitimately a palate cleanser.
Anyway, so we do a continuous narrative in our games where every few weeks we switch out keepers, so everyone gets to keep, everyone gets to play as we like flex our GM and player skills. We're playing Monster of the Week. It's a good time. I'm an old man. There are 2 old men.
We consider ourselves experimental because if there are any discrepancies in the narrative, we can always just fall back on that.
Yes.
But
We're like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. We keep throwing out directors. And it's up to you to decide how well this works.
somewhat, I like to think that we have a semblance of an overall plot.
We have a plan.
Yeah.
Is what we'll say.
And we somehow follow it.
So anyway, welcome to my Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives themed mystery, guys. We're having a good time here. Just to quickly, I guess, do a little recap. I'll do the recap just because of crazy stuff happened. Essentially, our team has been taken away to a beachside resort to be hidden away from their mortal enemies at this point, the Elapids, who are trying to use the character Apophis to end the world. So our characters have been taken away to this safe house by the organizations known as Lift, Eclipse, and the Order of the White Rabbits. No one knows they're here except for a specific Atticus Campbell who's in China right now. But that's not affecting the plot in the recent. And
Maybe.
so while they're there, they discover a abandoned amusement park known as Big ZD's Land. And they notice a whole bunch of creepy things going around, such as this guy Arthur acting a little strange. He's covered with sand. They find a museum full of Big ZD's artifacts that Chuck seems a little hesitant to be here and is very uncomfortable, which is weird for Chuck because he loves Big ZD's. And after a whole bunch of things go wrong, such as Chuck disappearing, the amusement park that has been dead since the 80s coming to life, and an animatronic Zack the Possum, the mascot of Big ZD's, comes out and attacks them with rotten pancakes. Well, he doesn't really attack. He mostly just stands there and is like, please take a picture with me, and then Teddy and Apophis murder him as he questions his own existence. And then after that, they hear a scream, both from their friend Chuck and both from a familiar Kathy Mulligan, who Alex goes and saves from the Room of Mirrors with his sister Cassie. And then Apophis, Anne, and Teddy go into the haunted house to find Chuck. There they come across 3 doors that are labeled the Hall of Duval, with the beginning, the accident, and the man. And after going through, they regale Chuck's very complex backstory involving his not-so-great relationship with his parents, and their not-so-great relationship with each other. And then Chuck's past love interest, who he let down by sort of falling back into his old ways of, being a assassin, and that sort of being the big thing he constantly regrets and he fears of being the silence of being alone. And then they also see the moment where Chuck goes and makes a deal with the devil, selling his soul so he can fight monsters for a year. And then after that, Teddy is met with the Elder Elapid, who offers him a deal that basically is like, hey, I will give you this red card, or this black card with a red apple fingerprint on it, that will allow you to either, if you want, you can save Chuck, or you can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. I will give this to you if you solve this equation that you failed to solve so many years ago to summon Apophis, and that I will now use to sort of activate the apocalypse because the original ritual failed. I would need to redo this, so everything goes as it's supposed to. Teddy lies to him, is able to writes down the wrong thing, succeeds in his manipulated person roll, gets the card. The Elder Elapid, as if knowing something about Anne, looks to her to see if she agrees with this, and Anne just straight up says, "Yep, he's telling the truth." And so the Elapid takes it as its word, and then releases them. And he's like, "Okay, have fun with the lungs," which reveals that as Alex has been fighting a shape-shifting clown actor who controls sand, that Kathy Mulligan is in reality the lungs of Apophis. And that's where we are now. Have I forgotten anything?
Yeah, you showed Teddy a vision of his dying wife on a hospital bed.
Did
Just
I
like
forget
just
anything?
glazed over that part.
I didn't forget anything, really. Yes, basically the Elapid, to kind of put Teddy in a space of despair.
In a vulnerable state, yes.
Yes, shows Teddy not only the horrible memories of Chuck, but also an image of his dead wife, to really make Teddy reflect on the reality around him, and so he would be more willing to say, sign away the world. But yeah. So
real quick, thank you Brandon CB515 for gifting so many tier 1 subs. That's super kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Holy wow. Hachi Machi.
But yeah,
it's a sub bomb.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I am now out of breath from talking so much. Cool. I'm trying to think if I've forgotten anything else. Alex and Cassie have, during, saving Kathy, noticed some weird things going on in the mirror room. Some purple magic is around in the mist. Cassie felt it was quite similar to the magic that was present inside of Alex's mind. All things to keep in mind on this week of Turntables RPG. I don't have an intro, so does anyone else have any? I guess we didn't do any announcements.
That's correct. Yeah.
So if anyone has announcements, let's do that.
It's gonna be weird role playing with myself.
Yes, Dustin, who plays both Cassie and Alex, has had to role play with himself and me. So hopefully he appreciates more company as this now probably very battle-heavy session shall begin.
Announcements very quickly. If you haven't already, please feel free to follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all at Turntables RPG. It's also on the overlay. Please follow Patrick Costa on Instagram or Twitter. He did the amazing art for our overlay and for our pre-stream art, the full designs and the busts. I believe their commissions may be opening up pretty soon, so go check them out, give them a follow, give them a like. Their art just keeps getting better, so feel free to do that. This Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time, we will be continuing our next installment of Tiny Tables, which is our one-page RPG monthly stream with Grant Howitt's Sexy Battle Wizards, run by our very own Masha. And we are all very excited. We rolled up our characters last week, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Very excited. So we hope to see you on Friday. And that, of course, was one of our milestones. Or no, it wasn't one of our milestones. It's just one of the things. But it was close to one of the milestones, which is what we did for last month. Thanks to y'all for helping us with our charity month with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Again, I'm just going to continue to bring that up because it was just extraordinarily generous of all of you, and just so much goodwill that we can't stop thinking about it. So thank you all again. And then very soon now we are going to be releasing the phone backgrounds. We're just putting on the finishing touches, but we're very excited to share those with y'all, and hope that you all love them as much as we do. It's been just amazing to see Mars and Chris kind of like come up with these amazing designs for everybody. So hope you all are excited for that. And then as we move into May, we'll be having some more programming that we will let you know as it comes up. And if you'd like, you feel free to subscribe or follow us on Patreon, or subscribe to us on Patreon, whichever one you want. But other than that, like, I think those are all the announcements. Unless, Chris, you want to talk about Twitch Prime a little bit, but otherwise...
I mean, I'm going to do a lot of talking tonight.
That is fair. So
let's do a little more. So
Oh, fine.
It's okay, Chris.
Anyway, just to quickly explain, if you have a Amazon Prime account, and you also, like, if you are already paying for Amazon Prime, you can connect your Amazon Prime account to Twitch. Twitch is owned by Amazon, and by connecting your account, you can get 1 free month of Twitch Prime sub. So you can subscribe to your favorite Twitch creator or streamer, and then you get 1 month every month. So if you've already subscribed to us with your Twitch Prime, or Prime Gaming as it's now called for whatever reason, you make sure you can do that. Just click the little subscribe button. It won't instantly subscribe you. Just check if you have one, and if you have one, give it to us, please. It's free.
Perfect.
Give it to us, please.
Give it, please. I'm begging, please.
Oh. Fine.
All right, on.
Okay,
Yeah, cool. Yes, thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. And then lastly, Dustin just put the link in the chat, but we also have a Discord server. Please feel free to join up and like check out the memes and the out of context quotes and all the fun that we have on there. And again, thank you all for watching. I hope we'll be having our first break like around 9 p.m. ish usually, we'll hopefully you'll stick with us.
9 p.m. CST. So if you have other
9 p.m. CST
timelines,
CDT,
so 10 p.m. or
CDT, yeah.
daylight savings time, whatever.
So like 10 p.m. EST, and then
8.
7 p.m. 8.
No wait, is it if it's 10 p.m. EST?
Then
It's
happening?
3 hours behind for Pacific, so it'd be 7.
that's what I think.
What
right?
is this
Correct?
for?
The
What did
break.
I miss?
Time.
Oh,
things.
The break's usually like around 7 for you, right,
Yeah.
Marshall?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
7. Okay, cool. We're good. We understand how time works.
Time's
I-
easy.
Time.
I have to do the New York to LA and back time conversion for my job, and I'm still terrible at it. Anything that's around noon, brain is like 1 minus 3 is 10. Everything I know is a lie.
Cool.
Also, I will say I have one of the like prototype sketches of the phone backgrounds as my phone background right now, and every time I see it, it brings me joy. Just want to put that energy out into the world. I'm
Right
excited
on.
for you guys to see them.
Cool beans.
cool.
So yeah, Chris, if you want to lead us in, we can start.
So yeah, with that said, conflict, drama, emotion, tears, laughter, all this and more tonight on TurnTables RPG. Let's go, guys. Yeah, I'm good at this.
do-
entire party. I'm the only character, or
I
I'm the
am the
only
whole
person.
party.
This is my whole party.
Yeah,
I am the party.
it's just 15. You have one of every playbook, and you are playing all of them.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, then and then when you get to your last 15th playbook, and then you get to the advancement where you can make another character, then you just loop around and you start like piling up.
I mean,
think that-
you can
Yeah.
also do like homebrew playbooks and stuff. So
That is true.
Mhm.
True.
You'll never run out of playbooks.
yeah,
Just constant playbooking.
run out of playbooks. Make your own playbook. I'd love to make a Monster of the Week playbook.
That is true.
This
Yeah.
one's just called Guy. I ran out of ideas. He's just a normal guy. Not like the flake or the mundane. He's just some guy. He just walked with us onto our tour bus, and now he's ours. He's just our dude.
He's ours.
He's ours now.
The Chad.
No.
Ruby's not cooperating.
Oh my god.
Are you thinking
You make
about
a
the
pair
moves?
of playbooks, and one is the Virgin and one is the Chad.
Oh god.
This is very important. Okay, let me tell one quick story. Is that people in this other Discord that I'm in were discussing the Pararomantic, which is one of the Tome of Mysteries playbooks, which is basically you have a guide and they are some kind of supernatural being, and you obtain some of your powers from them, and like they do things for you, and
That's
they
cool.
can either be another player character or like an NPC. It's just between you and your god. Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually playing a Pararomantic right now, and I was explicitly like, yeah, no, it's a business relationship. I'm not role playing this with strangers online.
That is
No
fair.
thanks. But they were talking about how you could totally do the Pararomantic, except it's like two people under one trench coat, and like you are the top and your guide is the legs. And then they took it even further, where eventually when you level up, you can play your own guide, so that you're playing both playbooks, you and your guide. And apparently one of the playbooks that's like fan made is called the Luchador, which is like, you know, a masked fighter. And it just made me laugh really hard that like the legs of the operation are just like a well-known luchador.
Rey
It's a very- it's a-
Mysterio,
that's incredible.
when did you get here? That's
Just-
a
Anyway,
WWE
Groovy's not
wrestling,
working.
that's fine.
Oh no, groovy.
Groovy is being mean to me again.
Is it just stuck on the same song?
Yeah, and it won't leave.
You can stop it and leave it and have it join again if you want. It's not gonna mess with the
I-
overlay.
Hold on. I can't. I'm not allowed to kick them.
Hmm.
And it won't stop or leave. Fun.
Well,
If you can, Soul, if you right-click Groovy, can you just click kick?
yeah.
See if that does anything. Cool.
Now we have to make our own music.
Okay.
Oh, we're
Groovy.
good at that.
Oh,
Ba-na-na-na.
you kicked
Yeah,
them from the
I took them
server.
completely off.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Give me a second
Oh.
while I add them back.
Goodbye, groovy. Fuck you, I guess.
Sorry, Groovy. It's been swell.
That's what happens when you kick someone. You just
You can kick them from the call.
Yeah.
let's see here.
So we're good, guys. Welcome to the Technical Difficulties RPG. It's usually Groovy. Groovy's usually our big problem. So. Cool.
Okay, have them back.
Adding me to your server. You're welcome, groovy. You better work this time.
Honestly.
Wait,
This is
did
our
they
assistance.
change? Did they change the? No, that'll summon rhythm. Okay, we might just be using rhythm.
And we use rhythm.
Okay.
It is
Goodness. Oh lord.
always groovy.
Rhythm, you are loud as hell.
Rhythm, why are you so loud?
Also, chat.
you-
Feel free to say something in the chat in case something is off audio wise.
I need the Discord role of DJ to be able to loop.
Sweet Jesus.
We're off to a good start.
I can talk about my soccer AU.
How long is this song?
Not
I think
long.
you should talk about the soccer AU.
It's the only thing I've thought about for like the past 24 hours.
I will also
it's
be
looping
sharing.
now, Chris.
Okay, cool.
I will be sharing with all of you a tweet that I saw today that every time I think about it makes me laugh uncontrollably. So
Please quote the person. The account.
I'm like posting the whole tweet. It's a bunch of pictures of bears that have been tranquilized that are like falling out of trees, but the photo is taken mid-fall. Join our Discord so you can see the pictures of bears falling out of trees.
Okay. I guess hopefully it's loops. We'll see. Cool, guys. Fun. You guys are we're going to go to the 3 people who are in the haunted house. Play it again.
Oh,
So,
is this the one that's 44 seconds long, Chris?
yes.
Okay.
So, Teddy, Apophis, and you are inside. You've disabled looping. Cool,
yes,
we're
I
good.
just re-enabled it because the song is that short that I have to do it. Okay.
Yes,
It
thank
should
you.
be
We're
good
all
now.
Good. We're all good. While you do that, maybe give me the DJ role, and then I'll be able to do it.
Or I will just do it because otherwise it might mess stuff up.
Okay, cool. That's perfectly fine then. So, we are in the haunted mansion, the haunted house that is on the pier of Big ZD's land. We are inside the lobby where a fake like doctor's hospital room has just the walls have folded away to reveal that you have been inside the haunted mansion this whole time. The elder Elapid, who has now made the deal with Teddy. He has taken what he believes is the correct formula. Basically has just said, "Good luck with the lungs," and is walking towards the door. Are you saying anything to him as he is walking to the door?
Didn't he like have Chuck appear too, like drop him on the floor?
Yeah, so he like snapped his fingers and Chuck just sort of like fell from the ceiling.
Okay, I think Teddy's like checking on Chuck.
Chuck, he doesn't he seems roughed up a bit, not like like he was horribly beat or bruised. It's just sort of like, hey, I was just dropped from the roof, the ceiling.
Is he awake? Like actually conscious?
He's knocked out.
Okay, he's knocked out. Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Is anyone else doing anything?
I think Apophis's first reaction is to like go running after the Elder Lapid, but then kind of stops and realizes that, maybe he's just gonna help Chuck out and not
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're feeling like a weight in your chest still from like the very interesting decision you have made to, I guess, in blatant terms, yes, Teddy took the deal, but you know that it's not how things were supposed to go, and the people who are above you don't know that this was not how things were supposed to go, and so you sort of feel this weight in your chest as like the eyes of your superiors are now on you, and you feel like your phone buzz a bit.
I'm gonna look at my phone.
So you get a text message from Atticus Campbell. That is a picture of Eric, who is now waking up. It's in the morning. They're getting breakfast in China.
Is it adorable?
I mean, as adorable as Bigfoot eating some breakfast is.
That sounds pretty cute to me. I am going to try something. During our last mystery, when I failed Angel Wings, I ended up at the Elder Elapid's office.
Okay.
I would like to go there, please.
Cool. Interesting. I'm going to say that, sure, you teleport to an office. It seems to be like, there's a lot of like Egyptian artifacts on the walls. There's an empty desk. Sort of very grand, kind of like over the top, like marble flooring, very nice like cream colored walls. Very like, I don't, what do they call like that very like chiseled kind of like ceiling? You know what I'm talking about?
Molding? Like crown molding?
Not crown
Stucco?
molding, but sorry,
I said stucco.
maybe. I don't know.
Like popcorn ceiling, or
Not like popcorn ceiling, but you know
Okay,
how
thank
it's like
God.
you
It
walk
was
into a very like old expensive house and they have like a very detailed ceiling with many layers. I don't know what you would call it.
Like ornate?
Kind of. Let's just say an ornate ceiling. I don't know why I went into such detail with the ceiling, but here we
very
are.
important. You gotta remember to look up, man. If you don't look
Gotta
up, you're
remember
gonna
to look
miss
up.
like half of the stuff around you.
Beep Boop
That's all.
says
So
it
you
could
were-
be vaulted ceilings,
Let's go
Well,
with
I
vaulted.
think vaulted ceilings are just like
kind of like arched
Mhm.
right there.
I don't know. Let's just say nice fancy ceiling.
yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Anyway. Cool.
I would like to. You said the desk itself appears empty, but I would
Mhm.
still, knowing that I might not have a lot of time, I want to look around and see if I can find anything that's useful to me.
Cool. Can you make an investigate a mystery roll for me?
I certainly can. Hello, my post-it notes are in the way. That is, my sharp. Curse you. That's a 9.
Cool. On a 7 to 9, hold 1. Cool. And ask any of the following questions.
Do you want to list out the questions?
I guess I could. Okay. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
The last one, please. What is being concealed here?
A classic. As you are looking through the desks and the desk and the drawers, you see pretty much things have been emptied out. There's not much here. You find a single key in the drawer that has just sort of been left there. It seems like it's not like a normal, it's like an ancient big rusted key, kind of like, like what you would see for like an old-timey like prison cell, you know what I'm saying? And so it's to a door. There's the only door here is the big door that's behind you, that's like the desk is facing.
Does the key look like it'll fit in that door?
No.
Okay. Got it. I am going to... How big are these artifacts?
The artifacts are basically, it's like big tablets like that are hanging on the wall. So like, like a good like 5 feet, not 5. Yeah, well, 5 feet kind of big artifacts around. There's
Okay.
like a small model of like a pyramid that's like behind his desk.
Get your cat
You
on.
know, you could probably like, if you wanted, you could like you could like wrap your arms around one and carry it, but it would take 2 hands.
Well, in that case, that sounds like way too much work for Anne.
Okay.
She is going to go ahead and... this key is hers now. She's taken it. She's going
Cool.
to pop it into her pocket dimension. And then... She's gonna flip the table.
Okay, cool. Some nice classic
Anne's
property
angry.
damage.
I don't know what vibe I'm setting for this session here.
Okay, no, please.
Session where Anne
No,
just
the-
fucking
the-
loses it.
The vibe has been set a while ago, and we're in it now. So Anne flips the desk. It's like a nice, like, seems like a very expensive, like, mahogany, very detailed desk that you've very carelessly just, like, screw this, flips it.
Mhm.
as it makes a very satisfying thunk onto the granite floors.
So I want to flip more things.
I mean,
Um,
the walls are full of like seemingly ancient Egyptian artifacts. If you would like to commit an archaeological crime,
no, I don't want to commit an argument. We already did that last week. We destroyed a bunch of like priceless dinosaur specimens. I don't want to just. Anna says always choose violence. Okay, only sometimes choose violence. Okay, not always. Sometimes.
there's a lot of violent things you could do in this room.
Man, it's really tempting. Yeah, I think. Oh God.
Okay, well,
Wait, I'm processing.
okay, cool. Process. While you process,
Yeah,
let's
come
see.
back to me, huh?
Back to the haunted house. As you're sort of checking on Chuck, Chuck doesn't seem like in great, like, immediate danger, like he's going to die if he's not given medical help. He just sort of seems like he's been, like, knocked out with a spell or something. As the Elder Lapid sort of walks to the door and he opens it, he sort of looks back to you and he says, "It has been a pleasure doing business with you all. With every evening comes a new dawn, and I hope to see you all when that new dawn arrives."
Go suck on a
he-
pine cone.
That just seems like a very uncomfortable experience, and then he walks out. Cool. Alex, you are outside of the haunted house and the Hall of Mirrors, and you have just been faced with a clown that that your sister blew off their hand that has turned into a sword, as they're sort of very like majestically kind of just been, over the top kind of flaunting around. And behind him is now Kathy Mulligan, who has taken off her hoodie to reveal a gem on her chest that is, very similar to Greg Washington. Looks like it could fit onto Apophis's gem. And as she takes off her hoodie, she grows into a creature very similar to Apophis. Snaky, glowing red arms. A bunch of cockroaches have crawled up her and formed her arms. Big lizard feet. Doesn't have a tail. Her head is not as, has not turned into a lizard as much as Apophis. Her body is more lizard than anything else. But yeah. You also see the Elder Lapid walk out of the haunted house.
I just remembered now I'm push talk. The clown actor guy, didn't he sort of kind of melt into the floor, or like things were growing up around him?
Yeah, so basically the sand that he's been controlling is sort of seeping through the floor into him as he's sort of like regrowing his hand.
Well, isn't this a who's who of people who hate us?
You see the Elder Lapid go, "Oh, hello, Mr. Rose. Pleasure to see you. I thought you were beat up a lot, but anyway, I expected this to be finished by the time I would come back, but it seems like Garbanzo has done a pretty bad job."
It's like awkwardly meeting like your head manager in the hallway.
Yeah,
as you're entering and they're leaving. Oh.
you see this clown who has been identified as his being Garbanzo.
Sorry, just registered the name.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. He sort of like slumps his shoulder and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm just sort of doing what I do." And the Elder Lapid is just sort of like, "Okay, fine. Everything has gone well. Kathy, if you are fully set on absorbing the head, I wish you luck with that." And he sort of reaches into the Book of the Evening that's been floating next to him and pulls out a very raggedy old, like, top hat that's sort of like, has a lot of like stitching on it and seems very like badly fixed. And he tosses it to Kathy, who like grabs it with her giant like muscly arms and puts it in their pocket. And he's like, use that if you are going. I just ask that you don't die. If things look bad, you're kind of a key part in all of this. And Kathy just sort of nods silently, and then the Elder Lapid turns to Alex and Cassie and is like, "Okay, good luck. I'd say the whole evening and dawn thing that I just did, but seems kind of redundant." And then he gets sucked into the book, and the book closes and then starts folding in on itself, very similar to like an origami magic that you have seen before with a certain Odie, and then it folds in on itself until it disappears.
Show off.
And then Garbanzo looks at you and is like, "Can you not do that? It's sort of a common thing that, any kind of magician knows how to teleport."
Any magician worth his salt.
I'm a bit new to the practice. But do you know what I can do? Turn
No.
you into paste.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely.
Cool. Roll some kick some ass.
Let me pull up first. It's 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay, cool. How much harm are you doing? And choose an extra effect.
It is going to be 3 harm, magic, close, obvious, loud, messy.
Okay.
And the extra effect is going to be. You suffer less harm.
Okay, minus 1
As
harm.
he's
Cool.
hurting a little bit.
Perfect. And so how much harm do you do?
That's going to be 3 harm.
Okay, dang. So, Cassie, you charge up your lightning and shoot it at Garbanzo, and as it sort of strikes Garbanzo in his center, he like explodes and expands in a giant giant donut-shaped man with a hole inside of him as like sand sort of like gushes out of his insides. And as his sand sort of hits the ground, you see it sort of like warp through the boards of the pier and turn into shards of glass as they stab up into Cassie, dealing what would have been 3 harm is now 2 harm.
Cassie is unstable. While you all were having
Cool.
mental trauma done, my characters have had the crap beat out of them.
Physical harm. Very
Oh,
fun.
wow.
Cool. Anne, what are you up to? Have you decided to be violent?
Have you chosen violence?
Have you chosen violence? Circle, check the box, yes or no.
Have you accepted violence today?
I would like. Anne recognizes that. I recognize I have to get back to my friends sooner rather than later, because I actually don't think that I'm aware of the lungs. However,
He at
I
least
did lose
said
an
lungs.
unconscious Chuck,
Mhm.
as well. So even still, I am very angry. I would like to open this door and see what's around here because I
Okay.
teleported in here, but I don't actually know where I am.
Cool. You go up to the door and you open it, and sort of on the other side is this very weird mesh of designs. Like, it has like ancient walls with torches on it, but very like nice tile floors too. It seems like a very weird like kind of office space. Like, it seems like someone took like an ancient Egyptian kind of like tomb or pyramid and has just sort of like renovated the floors to be like stable for an office space.
White linoleum.
Yeah, like white linoleum tile floors.
It's not classy.
You see, as you peek out, there's no one in the hall right now, but you see like a couple of like doors down this like hall There seems to be sort of like a waiting area out here. There's a desk that seems to be for a receptionist that is empty right now. But yeah, you are in what seems to be a weird ancient Egyptian office building.
It's the back office of a medieval times.
Oh my god.
Do you want us to go back to the other people as you think of what you're gonna do?
I just want to make sure what I do is kind of like in character.
Okay.
So I am currently torn between this might be the only chance to actually like explore this place while the Elder Lapid is not here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all my friends are dying. And I just
crazy.
explicitly went through a very emotional scene where I don't want my friends to die.
Yeah.
So I think that I am going to give myself like 5 minutes, like set
Okay.
a timer on my watch and just like wander the halls as quietly as I can. And what I am looking for in particular is an exit so that I can figure out where the hell I am. Am
Okay,
I in a
cool.
pyramid in Egypt? Am I in the very top of the, like...
Bass Pro Shop.
Yes.
That's where it all takes place in the Bass Pro
It's
Shop.
all-
That's
all
where
of
it
it.
is.
But that is
Cool.
what I would like to do.
As you're doing that, you hear the folding of pages start to, the sound of folding pages in the office behind you as you've like left it.
Oh, and I wasn't even sneaky. I flipped over the desk.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So what are you doing? You hear this, I mean, you don't see it. You are outside of the office in this waiting area. But you hear some pages being flipped.
I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna still just try to figure out where the hell I am.
Okay, cool. So if you are going to walk down the hallway, I'm going to ask you to make another investigate a mystery roll. Yeah.
Can I sell you on this being read a bad situation instead?
I thought you were gonna say
Perhaps.
that.
If not, it's fine.
I will let you read it. This is a pretty bad situation.
Okay.
Because you are about to be, you hear like as the book is unfolding itself, you hear like the sound of feet hit the tile and, sort of shuffling around, and you hear the words of like, what the hell? And then you hear
What?
quick steps walking towards the door behind you. So read a bad situation.
Oh, I have quite the idea.
Okay.
But we're gonna do this first. Oh, boxcars, baby!
Nice.
Okay.
Pretty epic.
So I get to hold 3. I don't even think I need that many. Are there any dangers I haven't noticed?
You see at the edges of the walls, little like carved into these ancient stone, symbols of eyes that all seem to be looking right at you.
Oh, brother. Okay. I don't like that. What is my best way out?
There's a hall right here. I mean, basically you're in this place where there's 2 halls leading both ways. You can see like both ways could lead out is sort of what you're getting. Like, if this is like a pyramid like you think it is, then arguably like there shouldn't be a dead end. There should be like, for just fire safety reason, there should.
I don't think that the pyramids were built to be fire safe. Let's be real.
I don't think tombs are have to follow
No,
those
but this is,
restrictions.
Not
this
that
is
that's
a-
where we are,
Yeah.
but
Well, if you think about it, this is a remodeled building or hideout after having an incident where summoning one of the head's pieces of Apophis caused a cave-in.
Oh, is
where
this that head?
A lot of them died.
Is that this hideout? Because I don't think that was established.
You don't know that.
So
No, there's no way to know that.
okay.
but you can at least guess like, hey, after we went through this thing where most of us died, maybe we should make sure our next hideout has some good exits.
The Elapids are passionate about ending the world, destroying Apophis, and building safety.
Yeah.
And OSHA safety guidelines.
You look
Yeah.
around and you're like, wow, this really like lives up to OSHA OSHA code. Very interesting.
Well lit. You got first aid kits on all the walls.
Yeah.
Well, it's open flame.
Glow in the dark arrows on the floor,
Well,
directing you to the exits.
but yeah, cool. What are you doing? You are hearing footprints sort of walk towards you. Are you using your other hold, or are you gonna run down a place?
I am going to keep my last hold for now, and I think I'm just going to follow the hallway down.
Cool.
And see if I can.
Any
Again, my
specific
intention is
direction,
to like
left or right?
exit and then like. Wait, there's an easier way to do this. As I am walking, I'm gonna pull out my phone and pull out my Maps app and just have
Very
it tell
fun.
me where I am. I don't know why I didn't think of this before.
Cool. You open your phone. Your phone is completely black with a single emoji on it that's just a frowny face.
That's rude.
That is rude. Then I will continue walking.
Cool. Fun. You are walking down the hallway. You hear the doors swing open. Just as you round the corner, you might catch a glimpse of the Elder Elapid looking down the halls, like what's going on? And you see as the eyes follow you, like they actively are. The stone is moving to look at you. You hear the footsteps start to follow you as you hear sort of deep chanting go through the halls. That is just sort of rumbling underneath you.
Quick, Angel Wings back to his office and look out the window.
Oh, no. Here's what we're gonna do. I think he's still kind of following me, right?
Yeah, he knows where you are at all times thanks to these eyes.
So, here's what I would like to do.
Cool.
I would like to Angel Wings back into his office,
Fun.
grab the Book of the Evening if it's in there, and then Angel Wings back to my friends, please.
Very interesting.
Fuck
So-
yes.
Angel Winging's back to the office. The Book of the Evening is not there.
Fuck you. Not really. I don't mean it. Fuck the
I'm-
world.
He actively knows that someone was in his office and is in the hideout, and
I
he's going to
know.
keep the Book of the Evening with him.
You're telling me this guy's not a Saturday morning cartoon villain? Come on.
He's like, oh no, someone has robbed my office. Guess I'm just gonna place down this big MacGuffin right here.
It was worth
See
a
you
shot.
later. So you are now back in his office. There seems to be no eyeballs in his office specifically.
I am going to take a deep sigh. I'm assuming that my 5 minutes at this point is up, and I am
Yes.
going to Angel Wings back to my friends, and I think in particular I am going to Angel Wings to probably Alex, because I know that he's outside,
Cool.
and I don't necessarily want to be in the spooky house.
You hear this rumbling sort of gaining volume as the ground starts to sort of shake underneath you, and you blip out of existence and blip right back next to Alex. Before we get to that, Teddy, Apophis, what are you doing in this haunted house? Chuck's below you. He's sort of just taking a nice sweet nap. Seems very peaceful.
Eddie, do you want to take care of Chuck? It doesn't look like he's in immediate danger. I can go outside and try and figure out what's going on out there.
What did he mean by the lungs?
That's what I'm afraid of.
Listen, help me carry Chuck, and we'll get outside and decide what to do then. baby steps, just because we don't know. The Elder Elapid showing up changes the game on several levels. We don't know what's out there. We don't know what all he's changed, what all he's affected. We should probably try and stick together as best as possible for the time being and take it one step at a time. So best to just take Chuck, take him outside, decide what to do next from there.
That sounds like a plan.
And then Teddy's just gonna kind of like get Chuck like maybe to like his waist, and then just kind of like look at Apophis like, you know, you could grab his legs if you want.
I'm an old man.
I think Apophis is just going to grab all of Chuck and just kind of sling him over his shoulder because Apophis is a big old snake man.
This is my new action figure.
You can basically like almost get your whole hand around Chuck's like center as you just sort of like plop him over your shoulder. And you can, as you do this, like the walls in the fake sort of hospital room, all kind of just like fade away in purple smoke. The sand that was on the bed just sort of falls to the ground and seeps into the floorboards.
And so we're still just like inside a normal room in this haunted house.
Haunted house.
Okay.
Yes. So you can walk out now if you please.
Yeah, I think
cool.
That's what we want to do. Yeah.
So, as we all convene onto the outside of this haunted house, and you pop into existence as Apophis and Teddy walk outside, you see in front of you this clown who has now sort of been blown apart in the middle as sand is just sort of like pouring out of him, and he's sort of like wailing like, ah! This one really stinks! And behind him, you see this giant lumbering Apophis-looking creature with blonde hair and a ponytail, sort of, and cockroach arms, sort of lumbering behind him. Like, and when Apophis, you walk out, they sort of lock eyes with you and give you like sort of a death stare.
That's why that's why we take things one step at a time. Fuck.
Hi guys.
Fuck.
Cassie, who
Cassie's
is
just bleeding.
That should
The
have
only
been
thing
as funny as it was.
Sorry.
The only thing I'm imagining Apophis doing is just like doing the Spider-Man meme where
like
they're staring at each other. But I think Apophis is going to put Teddy down like on the stairs or like
Chuck.
Put Chuck down.
It's all good.
I confused my old man.
Pick Teddy up.
You were
we do
carrying
it
both
too.
of them.
Both of me and Soul already do it.
Yeah.
So you flop him down onto the steps of the haunted house.
I carefully flop him down.
Yes, this is a very careful flop. You sort of place him down, and like he's all on the ground, and so for somewhere it makes a noise of going like flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Apophis is going.
I was just gonna say, I do want to retcon really quick that Cassie waved at Teddy with his own hand because she does still have it.
Yes, Teddy, you do see
Teddy
your
waves
new
with his
hand
stump.
order.
And then Apophis is going to get into kick some ass mode.
Cool. Is anyone else doing something immediately? Or are we all
Alex
sort
was
of
already
standing
moving
at a
to-
sit? Okay, Alex, you are moving. What are you doing? 'Cause it
yeah,
looks like-
Alex was already moving before everybody showed up.
Yeah, as you are moving, you see like Anne pop into existence as you like run past her. And are you running towards anyone specific, or are you running towards Garbanzo or Kathy?
Kathy, yeah, he
Yes.
was moving to square off with Kathy because
Cool.
somebody was going to have to, because he didn't expect everybody to just show up all at once.
Cool.
So that's who he was moving toward. Even though everyone is here, in fact now even more so because Kathy has suddenly turned her attention elsewhere. He's gonna stab her.
As you are running towards Kathy, you see like, you know, her chest sort of like build up with energy as she's sort of like loading up an attack that she's about to do. But yeah, so roll some, kick some ass.
Hey,
8, cool. Cool. How much harm?
2.
Nice.
Cool. You do 2 harm to Kathy, and as you do it, you get up and you sort of like, are you slashing? Or are you stabbing?
Stabbing.
Okay. You basically go up, do a little like, and as you stab in, Kathy sort of like screams and snarls and swipes at you with their hand, dealing 3 harm. Not ignoring armor. Cool. As you do this, they sort of knock you away. You're still close enough to still keep on attacking when it comes your time. So yeah, you all see Alex run up as he interrupts Kathy charging up their energy, and once Kathy sort of like bats at him, you see the energy start to build up again.
Cassie looks rough, right? Dustin, didn't you say that she was unstable?
She is unstable.
Oh man.
You got bruises and blood.
Keeper, would it be possible for, because like Teddy doesn't really have the use magic move anymore? Weird Science is supposed to replace that, right? But use magic has the potential of like healing somebody or at least stabilizing them.
Okay.
Would it be possible for Teddy to try and use Weird Science to stabilize Cassie?
My question is, does Weird Science have its own separate list of things you can do?
No, it comes with requirements instead. So like essentially I roll weird, and then it says like when you create or adapt a device to analyze or deal with strange phenomena, right? And so like deal with is kind of like the umbrella term of like, interact with something. And so in my case, like if Cassie is wounded by lacerations from glass, my hope would be that I could maybe grab my hand from Cassie and use it to cauterize some of the wounds and stabilize her at least, if not heal her.
Sure. I can allow that. I'm fine with that.
Dope. Okay. So then Teddy's gonna kind of run up, and I think he's just gonna take off the white shirt that he has, leaving just the undershirt, tank top, wife beater, and like kind of hand it to Cassie and be like, "Put this on your wounds while I get." And he's like, "And then can you give me a hand?"
She claps, but then she also offers the action.
Dope. I will switch my shirt for her hand, or for the hand, so that she can kind of like start stopping up those wounds. And Teddy's just gonna kind of go through the process of like clicking the hand back into the arm, and like resetting it and kind of like flexing his fingers for a second, and then I think he's just going to. Would you like me to roll Weird Science to see if this works at all?
Yes.
Okay, dope.
I would.
Nice. Okay, that's an 8 with my weird is a 10. So with a 10 plus, I get to pick one requirement. And I will say it requires huge amounts of power or fuel. And
cool.
I will say that as Teddy kind of like stretches out his hand, doing the classic kind of like cleric hand over the wound kind of pose, there's tubes along his arm that some of them are like red tubes and some of them are like clear tubes, and Cassie can see that a lot of the clear tubes are starting like the liquid inside is beginning to rush at incredible speeds, and a large amount of steam begins to kind of like rise out from the hand, and in a moment Teddy's just like, all right, on 3, 1, 2, and then on 2 he just like immediately blasts one of the wounds with superheated steam in order to cauterize the wound, and at least stabilize Cassie.
Cassie's cool. Like, oh, is this a new kind of match? Ah! And like just absolute just painful.
Teddy just gonna look at her. He's like, I'm sorry, or are you okay?
Yes, I'll be ow.
All right, maybe we should play the shoot from a distance game from now on. And I think Teddy's going to he's like, you can keep the shirt, and he's just gonna kind of stand up and kind of like shake out his hand, and it's gonna the hand itself, like any kind of like electronics on it or anything like that, looks like very dim. It seems like as though he like used up a lot of power to do that.
Yeah.
But he kind of like runs a quick diagnostic, and he's like, I don't have he looks at Cassie. He's like, I don't have enough power for to use my to use any sonic blasts. I'm gonna need some time to charge.
Well, guess that means it's time for storming. So just really quick, it does use the effects of use magic. Is that right?
For weird science?
Yeah. Is that?
No, it's just that essentially I was trying to get my hand to heal, or at least cauterize the wound in some way, shape. And in weird science, it's like to deal with a strange phenomena, and I technically count Cassie as a strange phenomena.
Okay. So what did you do? Did you heal it, or did you stabilize it, or?
I stabilized.
I
stabilized it. Yeah, there was essentially there was no healing. He just kind of like stopped the bleeding to like the biggest wound, essentially.
Cool. Anne or Apophis, what are you doing?
You want to go?
You can go first. I think you were ready before I was.
Yeah.
All right. My action is not very complicated. It is called Apophis is running at the other giant snake person and going to attempt to beat it up with his big ol' hands.
Cool. Roll some, kick some ass.
Just remembered I needed dice for this game.
Yes.
That is 3 plus 6 is 9 plus 3 is 12.
Perfect. Choose an extra effect.
I also get to I have taken kick some ass as an advanced move, so
Perfect.
so I get to choose an advanced effect.
Cool. Which is you can completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1 forward. You suffer no harm at all. Your attack inflicts double the normal harm, or your attack drives the enemy way in a route.
I would like to deal double the normal harm.
Cool. And how much harm is that?
I deal 4 harm now.
Okay, very interesting.
So with doubled, that is 8 harm.
Oh, okay.
That's a one punch kill for any one of us.
So you run up, and your fist, sort of like your glowing fist of scarabs, enlarges to a giant size, pulsating with red energy, as Kathy Mulligan, the lungs of the snake, their chest now very giant as the gem is glowing, and they release all their energy in a giant beam attack as you sort of punch through the beam and smack them right in the face. You deal 4 harm from Kathy's beam attack, piercing your arm.
I take 4 harm?
Yeah, you take 4 harm. As you punch them in the face, you basically knock them all the way back through these tents onto the ground. As they sort of fall, they look completely rough. Like, it looks like they were not expecting that, as they are just completely fucked up. I
don't think any of them.
They look like they're going to die.
Does her attack ignore armor?
Yes, it ignores armor.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, brother.
Apophis is not doing great.
Cool. You have almost basically it looks like if you wait for almost an hour, maybe they could get themselves together enough to get back up, but they look pretty much down. Fun. Cool. Garbanzo is putting himself back together. He sort of turns back as he sees basically their trump card crumble into the ground, and he's just sort of like, well, this is kind of a bad situation.
As his that's all, folks.
And he quickly he instead of filling up his the giant hole in his chest, you see the middle of him sort of disconnect from his lower half, and he grows two little tiny baby legs as he sort of just starts wobbling across the ground towards Kathy.
You're a good cop, baby legs.
Exactly like baby legs from the from the show Rick and Morty. Anyway, so Garbanzo the clown is now running towards Kathy Mulligan, who has now been completely curb stomped into the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to beat him up a little bit as he runs towards Kathy. I don't know what the hell he is, but he seems to be made of sand, and I'm not into that, so I am going to pull out my razor whip, run over to him, and just try to slash him as many times as I can in a short period of time.
Cool. Roll kick some ass.
Okay, that's a 7.
Cool. That's just harm. How much harm is that?
That would be 3 harm, messy, and holy.
Cool.
That changes anything.
You flip your whip at Garbanzo, the baby-legged clown, and as it sort of goes and catches one of his arms, it rips it off, and he sort of screams in pain as more sand sort of sprouts out of his stump. The hand that you flip sort of goes flying, and then it sort of redirects itself in the air and sort of shoots sand out of its stump to rocket itself towards you and punch you in the face for and as it punches you in the face, sort of sand pours onto you and starts sort of burning you, and does 3 harm.
Ignoring armor or no?
Not ignoring armor.
Okay. Do not like being sprayed in the face by sand.
Cool. Garbanzo is basically making his way still. He's sort of on the stance of, I need to get to this thing as fast as I can. Who cares about my limbs? Cool. Back to Cassie. Cassie, what are you doing?
I got a question.
A little bit. You could be eating.
He's not hungry right now.
I feel like she's hungry all the time.
And all right, here's what we're going. So in front of him, well, here's what she's going to do. She's going to start her chanting, and wind is going to start building up around her, and then she's going to just extend her hands, and a wall of wind is going to rise up between him and Kathy Mulligan.
Okay, cool. Do you have to roll anything, or is that just that happened?
It is still kick some ass. It is still an attack.
Okay, roll some kick some ass.
And then we'll talk about what it does in a second. That's going to be 10 total.
Okay, cool. Choose a extra effect.
Let me actually scroll back the page. We're gonna make this wall inflict terrible harm.
Okay, cool.
So right now it doesn't do anything to him, but if he tries to pass through it, so it is going to be +1 harm. Okay, so it's going to be total 2 harm, magic barrier, close, 1 armor, obvious, loud, and forceful.
Okay. Cool. Garbanzo, as he sees this
3
wall,
harm total.
3 harm total. Okay, Garbanzo sees this wall. He is a mage. And a wizard. He understands this magic. and he stops in his tracks, understanding that if he touches this wall, he's going to die, straight up just die, and he's going to sort of like shakily and be like, as he sort of, sand still pouring out of his arm, and he sort of like falls on his, he sort of falls on his butt as he stares up the wall, and he's just sort of incredulously, his eyes sort of like widen and sort of like just lost all hope as he's just like, I guess this act has come to a close. And he slumps his head down, and as you are all like to see this image in front of you of this clown man minus one arm, baby legs, has given up on his dreams in front of you, in front of a wall of wind, where on the other side you see a giant snake woman who has just been completely fucked up. She is slowly reaching into her pocket as all this is happening. You see sort of like as this happens, like all the lights on the pier sort of turn off, and purple smoke sort of like comes out of them, and all is like sort of sucked into the Hall of Mirrors. You are now in the darkness of night, with the only light sort of just being from the stars above, as you see your two defeated foes in front of you. I was gonna change the music to more epic music, but here we go.
Teddy is still trying to charge his sonic weapon.
Cool.
It looks like I really beamed up your plans. Kirby.
This is
Why so
doing
serious?
very shittily and is also unstable. So he is going to probably try and get closer to Alex, because Alex is a doctor.
Got that good touch.
Yeah, cool. Teddy is kind of like clapping his hands together, and every couple of like 10 claps, there's like a jet of steam from his hand, and like a panel from his forearm like shoots open. The more that open up, everyone can kind of see the train whistle within his forearm. But they're just kind of like these different panels are beginning to kind of like fan out, very similar to like what his old sonic rifle used to do, in the sense that it created a kind of like a satellite dish, but it's just kind of like the wrong direction. It's very interesting. But he's just like continuously doing this, or like you might hear him go like, the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas, and then just like continuously just trying to create. It almost seems like he's trying to create noise or like vibrations.
Energy.
Yeah.
Alex is still a little bit in battle mode, but as he looks to Apophis, who's like probably trying to look like he's fine, but is like lightly limping. Alex is like, and he just.
I'd say Apophis is pretty heavily limping. He has taken 5 damage.
Cassius. He's going to start reaching into his bag and go for some healings.
Cool. So cool. So Apophis, Alex, and Cassie, you are all busy healing up, and Teddy, you are clapping to the heart of Texas.
Yes, I would like. Yes, my hope is to kind of like to keep both Garbanzo and Kathy in my eyesight.
Okay.
To react if they do anything.
Cool. If as you are watching them, you see Kathy pull out this very dirty top hat, and as it starts to like suck her into it,
I would like to try and either shoot the hand out of her hand, or shoot Kathy away from the hat. One of the two.
Cool. I'm going to ask you to, I guess, kick some ass.
Sure.
I will say this: the wind wall is not like it does affect friendly fire, so like
Oh, okay.
help protect her some from that because it has to go through the wind wall in order to reach her.
That's what
Okay.
I was wondering because I would have wanted Teddy to kind of like move around it, if possible. I don't know how far the walls
Wide it is.
extends. You know, like I don't think that's really determined, and because we don't really use like metrics for distance in this game.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
I'm going to say because if it was like 5 feet wide, then Garbanzo would have just walked around it. So I'm going to say to shoot through this wall, it's going to be like a -1 forward.
A -1 forward or a protection or like doesn't it count as armor?
Does it count as armor?
It counts as what that's exactly what it does.
How much armor?
Is 1 armor, right?
Okay, cool. Sure.
Because
Okay.
you made it forceful instead of protective.
Okay, roll some kick some ass, Teddy.
Holy shit. Okay, so that's not boxcars, but that's an 11. I have a 0
Okay.
to tough.
What?
Okay.
I will say, I did do a quote thing. So with Wise Series, you do take +1
Cool.
So
Oh, really?
it's 12,
Okay.
but I don't think. Yeah, if Cassie does any kind of like quip at the end of one of her moves, and it goes along with whatever she did, the Why So Serious move gives +1 forward, so the next person gets to roll.
Cool.
Right
I'm going to ask you to choose an extra effect, and also ask: are you shooting Kathy or are you shooting the hat?
Great question.
Because those two things will have different outcomes.
So actually, because we leveled up, I'm pretty sure last of this mystery, I also advanced, kick some ass too, and so I don't get that +12 or the +1 from because that's plus the cool. Is that right, Dustin, or is it just a +1 in general to whatever?
What the?
Why so serious?
It's just +1 forward. So
To anything.
it's plus. So the next person who rolls gets +1.
Okay, cool. So then I also get the advanced move for kick some ass as well because I got a 12.
Cool.
I think.
Do you have it advanced?
Yes, we leveled up last time, and I chose that as one of my advanced options.
Sick.
So I think Teddy's gonna shoot the hat.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Teddy's gonna shoot the hat, and so are there 2 effects or yeah? Instead, pick an enhanced effect for the advanced moves. I'm gonna say you completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get a +1 forward.
Cool.
And at this point, when Teddy shoots, all the panels are out on his arm, creating kind of like a large disc at his wrist. And everyone can see the whistle, and his hand is like his entire forearm is smoking with steam. And in order to activate it, he puts his hand into a finger gun, and he says "bang," and the fan collapses into his forearm, and all that steam compresses down and shoots out in a very like thin, almost like visible line of steam and sound. And it's a very high-pitched whistle, and it just kind of like pierces through the wind wall and just like cuts the top hat away from Kathy's hand, and like it, you decide how far it goes, but
yeah, the hat sort of flies away. Kathy, who is now very beat up, very much unstable, might die in like a couple minutes if not treated to. Sort of like sadly like holds out to the hat and then falls down as their body just sort of the cockroaches completely disperse as they shrink back down to their human form. They look really rough.
And there's just a very loud tss as like all the steam that was being controlled or kept within Teddy's arm is now like beginning to leak out slowly.
Cool.
God damn. No time for test runs, right? Oh.
Um, I would like to get over to Kathy.
Cool.
Um,
You go over to Kathy. She's wearing her "If the Shoe Fits" shirt, very ripped blue jeans from transforming. She looks very beat up. Her face looks very bruised from getting punched by a giant snake person.
Is she like back to human size again, or is she still like okay?
Yeah, she's reverted back to her human form.
Excuse me. Can I see? I know that I didn't get a very long glimpse at her once I popped into this fight. Where was her like anchor?
On her chest.
Right. Okay. Do I see anything? Like, do I see anything there?
It's a red gem, just like Apophysis. Looks like it could fit very nicely into place.
Can I like remove it from her person?
I mean, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that could kill her. But if you wanted to try, you could do that. It would be a very dangerous thing. Might have to do some big magic.
I'm trying so hard not to just have Anne go off the deep end right now.
Don't know how long I have my powers left. Gotta go for it. I grabbed the gem and Angel Wings the gem.
I think that the first thing that Anne is going to do is try to talk to Kathy. Is she at all conscious?
She's dying.
Okay, but is she conscious?
She's knocked out and dying.
Okay.
So unless you're gonna help her,
you can be dying and conscious at the same time.
I understand, but she's dying. So
okay.
She is not. Basically, her last bit of energy was trying to use the hat to escape, and now that the hat is away, she's just like, "Welp, I'm fucked," and then passed out from the pain. As you know, she is unstable and will die in a matter of like a minute.
The wind wall that's kind of separating me and everyone else, can they see through it, or is it kind of obscured?
I think it's like slightly opaque. It's like I think they can see you through it, like your silhouette at least.
I don't know, Dustin. Did you imagine it a different way?
It depends on what's going on. It's wind, so like.
Yeah.
Imagine like a tornado. It will pick up debris and stuff and toss it around inside. So
granted, there is a lot of sand, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of sand, so it's very sandy. So you might be obscured if you would like to believe you are obscured now. Anne's just about to commit murder.
She might.
Oh, jeez.
Just Teddy and now Anne.
You see
when
Kathy
did Teddy commit die?
When I shot that guy at the Elipid base. Because they knew about my family.
So yeah, so Anne, you see Kathy Mulligan below you. You know, the last time you saw them, you saved them from Bigfoot. You remember the first time you met, you know, you were talking about her Scream demo. She is now in front of you, very much damaged and bruised. She is a weapon of the enemy.
Yes, but by her own will or not?
That's the big question, ain't it?
And how is she looking? Do I need to come over there?
Very interesting.
Alex, she is not looking good, but I think if you heal her, she's just gonna try to kill us again.
And I'm a doctor, and you know that.
Yeah, I do know that. I think that I am going to try to remove this gem from her.
Cool. Magically or with the goal of just murder?
Oh no, with magic, please.
Okay, cool. I am going to ask that is big magic.
Okay, so here's a question for all of us as keepers, because big magic is not just the use magic roll. It is meant to be like a specific time of year or a certain number of people or with like specific materials. It is an ordeal. Like this is like
Well,
world
that's
shifting
up
stuff.
for Chris to decide what the
Well, I mean, it's
ordeal
all
part
for
of it
all of
is.
us to decide because it is like big magic is one of the rules of the game, and like if we are, there should be some like flat line rules for big magic. We just haven't done it before, and so we haven't talked about it. But like,
I mean, it's going to be different every time depending on what spell you're trying to
right,
cast.
but there should still be some like some set things where it's not just like 5 minutes and you're done, unless you're like giving up half of your luck or something along those lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How about this? Cyber Goji says, and just removes the gem like popping the lid from a ramen cup. Can I do that?
Anyway. No. So I mean, basically, I'm going to say that if you want to do this without killing Kathy, this is going to be a ritual slow burn. Like, you don't know how long this will take. You could be here for a while. And specifically the side effects of this, I know we talked about before during my, conveniently during both of my mysteries, the topic of big magic has come up and has started a conversation. I know we've talked a bit about causing just an explosion or something bad happening. Obviously, one of the bad things that can happen if this goes wrong is Kathy dies. What happens when you remove this gem could do a couple things. Might harm you in the process, might harm a lot of people in the process. But if that's something if we want to have a specific discussion of what this will do as a group, I'm open to that as well. I'm going to say right now, because you have never done this before, it's a big question mark of what can happen and how long this will take or how much focus this will take.
I think that's fair.
So either you just yank it out with your force and kill Kathy right there, and then certain things will happen because of that, or you heal Kathy and leave the gem in there. Or you just let her die naturally of her own causes. You take in the trolley problem, the stance of not touching anything.
Naturally.
Naturally, as in your friends kind of murdered her, but so you can take your hands away from
God, this fucking sucks. I don't want Anne to be evil, but I think I know what she would do.
If you want, kill this snake girl.
Fuck.
What is everyone else doing? Is everyone just sort of healing, picking themselves up?
I think Teddy would have collected the hat and gone back to Chuck.
Okay, cool. So you sort of walk around the wind wall, and I assume it's going to be a lot more of a production to get around it. Like, you have to walk around the whole thing. You sort of grab it. Maybe you see Anne just sort of standing over Kathy's body, menacingly deciding what to do as you pick up this old, like, very flimsy, dusty hat that has a bunch of patch marks on it.
Yeah,
it's
if Anne sees Teddy and Teddy sees Anne, Teddy's just gonna pick up the top hat, look at Anne, and just kind of like nod and walk around. Like he's not gonna say anything. He's not going to
say so much with so little words.
Yeah.
Cool. So you take this old hat and you go back to Chuck. Dustin, would you like to say what you are doing?
I will say what I'm doing in just a second, but first, I just want to say that one interaction, so just pull back the curtain a little bit for the audience. During our interview session, essentially, so long ago, this exact same thing happened. Masha and I were in the same interview session, and this exact same situation came up, and my character did exactly what Teddy just did. He just kind of left her to do what she needed to do. So this is just giving me flashbacks to that.
Cool.
That's why my decision is even harder. Do I complete the prophecy or not?
Well, so yeah, very interesting. Fun. Teddy, are you doing?
Alex is going to stabilize Apophis. Like until Anne says get over here, and he's going to focus on stabilizing Apophis because Apophis is worse for wear at the moment and getting worse.
Cool.
Try
Fun.
to stabilize him.
That is a roll, correct?
Roll. It's plus cool.
Okay, cool.
It's it's his medic ability.
Use your medic roll.
Does he technically still get a +1 from this? From my
Cassie?
or no, from the advancement of the.
Oh yes, the plus forward.
Yeah.
Let me look at that exact wording.
Because it does say
completely
like during the fight. Yeah.
there is no fight going on.
Well, it says all hunters involved in the fight get a +1 forward, but yeah.
I'm going to say there is no fight going on, and
But
if you want
there
to
was
keep
a fight
having the
going.
forward, but it's not going on anymore. There's no one fighting you.
Right, but it doesn't say +1 forward during the fight. It just says if you were involved in the fight, you get +1.
Yeah, the way it can be read is like
It does not say if you were involved in the fight, you get a +1. It just says hold advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get +1. Okay, never mind. I'm wrong.
It says literally that. I'm like,
It takes a big man to admit that he was wrong.
Okay, sorry. I guess you can do it. Fuck, who cares? I thought this fight was gonna take the whole session, guys.
and then Apophis punched an 8 hard
Yeah, and so my
punch.
plans are completely screwed over, man. So let's just keep going, man. Let's see what happens. Sure, just do plus forward.
the only reason I fought that hard for it is because that makes it a 10 instead of a 9.
I was going to say Cassie already
which
had the
is-
plus forward for the thing. Was my right, or am I wrong?
No, Teddy had that. Teddy
Oh,
got
okay. It was
Yeah.
just for Teddy. Okay.
Yeah, the +1 forward for her little quote thing. But it's only +1 forward to the next, like, just
Oh,
+1
okay.
forward.
Cool. Okay.
So that's going to make it a 10. That means that Apophis is stabilized and also heals 2 hard.
Cool.
That is good. That's good.
Fun. Is Alex gonna do anything else?
He will get to healing others in a bit, but like his main thing right now
Yeah.
is
Okay. So he's not going to
Right,
check
fine.
on the Kathy Ann sitch.
well, he wants to, which is why he's calling over, trusting him.
And
Well-
Ann's telling him it's okay.
Well,
Like she's hurt, but it's okay.
do I need to come?
Could
Are you saying that again?
Yeah, could you say that again?
Okay, so Alex has now asked Anne again, should he come over? Anne, do you respond, or are you just gonna murder her? Or let her die again? You are met with a trolley. One person who's trying to kill you is on one end of the tracks. I'm not gonna say your friends' lives are gonna be in, like, 100% your friends will die if you flip the lever, but might be, I don't know. Basically, you have one person on a set of tracks. You can either stop the trolley or not stop the trolley. What do you do?
You can speed the trolley up.
Yeah.
back up all Do what Anne would do. No one will be mad at you.
Yeah, no one can do anything.
But will I
but
be
you.
mad at myself is the real question.
Except maybe you're. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Look at Anne, her experience, what she's gone through today.
I think that Anne is gonna let Kathy die.
Okay, not touch her at all. Just let her fall.
She is going to let her die, and then oh god, saying that out loud.
And
Just
then take the gem from her corpse.
Yep.
Fun.
Yep,
Cool.
yep.
What's up, my cool cats and kittens? Let's do this. Fun. Teddy, what are you doing while we wait for Kathy to die?
Well, I mean, am I back with Chuck?
Yeah, you're back with Chuck. Chuck's
Okay.
sleeping peacefully on some steps
Okay.
with a flip.
I think. I think Teddy's going to is Chuck kind of like laying uncomfortably on the steps, or is it like, you know, because I'm
He's-
imagining that his body's like splayed like lengthwise across the step instead of like sideways on like one
Vertically.
step, you know?
He's on the steps like this. Saying anyway. No, I think probably hopefully Apophis laid him just on like
on
Yeah.
one step.
horizontally.
Okay, cool.
Like
cool.
on a way that is normal for a human being to sleep on a flat surface.
Right, dope. I just wanted to make sure. And
Maybe his arms hanging off.
cool. I think Teddy's just going to like whatever step like Chuck is on. I think Teddy's gonna sit down on the step right below it, and just gonna like twirl the top hat in his hands, and he's just gonna sitting there with Chuck. I think, even though Chuck's unconscious, I think Teddy's just gonna say, "Sorry about Daisy, Chuck."
Okay, cool.
it.
Apophis, you have been healed. What are you doing?
I think Apophis is just kind of sitting there. I don't
Okay.
think he like. I don't think he wants to necessarily like approach Anne because I think he, yeah, and I don't think he wants. I think he's just kind of sitting there, like thinking about what has happened and thinking about like a lot has just kind of been dumped on him, and I think he's just kind of sitting there, like maybe his head is in his hands, and he's just kind of like, you know.
Fun. As you're all sort of doing your own thing, and you see Kathy, this girl from the hit popular TV show If the Shoe Fits, where they hunt Bigfoot, have been hunting Bigfoot for 17 plus seasons, and who has only ever dreamed of making it big in the Hollywood voice acting scene. Well, she wanted to go big in Hollywood, but she was always too self-conscious about her appearance to ever go in front of the camera. So she was hoping maybe voice acting would be a good way to do that. And so you see this girl who you saved from Bigfoot lying in front of you as the last breath is exhaled from her body, and as the glow of the red gem goes dark, and she is lying there, and she has passed.
And takes a deep breath, and then kneels over Kathy's body, grabs the gem, and tries to rip it out of her.
Okay, before you say anything, Chris,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for everybody, and it's just a simple, it's a binary choice. It's one or the other. Yes or no? Just answer
Yes.
me this question.
Yes,
or no?
always yes. I'm a yes man. Yes.
What's the question?
Yes,
Just
I don't
choose
care
one.
the answer or the question or the context. Yes.
Drama, yes or no? There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, drama.
Yes.
I love drama.
Yes.
I eat it. I breathe it.
Okay, cool. Chris, go ahead and
Cool.
I will unfortunately have to interrupt you one more time. I will tell you when.
Cool. And you reach down. This gem, it's as big, you can try to like grab onto it. It's sort of like a bow tie shape kind of thing. As you sort of like grab the middle, and I guess a good way to like the symbol on like a black widow spider, kind of similar to that, I guess. As you sort of rip it out with a very disgusting sort of like kind of like as blood sort of starts seeping out of like this open chest wound. It's not going fast because there's no heartbeat anymore. And so you now have this bloody gem in your hand that's dripping with blood.
And the wind wall fades.
Cool.
Just in time for everybody to see this.
And you are standing there holding a bloody gem and a dead Kathy in front of you. Alex, you look over and you see this. Can you roll to hunger after seeing this open chest wound?
Nice.
That is an 11.
Cool.
So close.
You're all fine.
One of these days we'll get you, Dustin.
One of these days, I'll get you.
Mathematically,
next
it
time.
has to happen at some point.
Cool. The
I mean,
wall.
you guys have got me. Well, sort of.
I think. Anyway, the wall has fallen. You all see Anne standing above a lifeless Kathy, who's now a pool of blood is sort of pouring out onto the wood of the pier and sort of seeps into the wood of this place that has a very weird, deep history.
Cassie is like standing in front of the wind wall. I think she's like the closest to it. Like she likes to watch her own magic go, and like she's just kind of rubbing her belly, and she looks at Anne with the gem, and she says, "So, is that what we're doing? Collecting the gems of these things?"
It's worth a shot. And I think Anne is still like on one knee, like body hunched over, gem in hand. She wipes the blood on the shirt, on Kathy's shirt, and then wisps the gem away into her pocket dimension.
Fun. Okay. You wipe the blood onto this corpse.
Logistical question: isn't that for like small objects though?
Well, how big is the gem?
Because like it was on the
at
chest,
least this big.
Right? And we're talking about the
this
chest
big.
of a huge, like an apophis-sized creature.
Yes. So, well, I mean, it's big on their chest, and then it's like somewhat normal size when they turn into a giant snake. But, it's
fair. Size is relative.
So,
Yeah.
like the average size of a person's chest. So.
I mean, like this bottle is the width of my
right, but
chest
you're also
almost, and I would consider this a small item. Well, okay. Again, size is relative.
This is my iPad. That's.
Would you consider that
inches.
a small object that you own?
I guess this is a small object. I'm gonna say it's okay. It's gonna be a tight fit, but it's okay.
All right. Yeah. I hear like a smacking like jingle jangle noise as it hits the rusty key.
Is your
and I feel really
dimension...
bloated all of a sudden.
Is your pocket dimension an ability given to you by your supervisors?
Yeah, I took it as a move. I don't remember when. One of my many level ups in recent history. It's called What I Need When I Need It. You may store any small object you own, putting it into a magical space nobody can get to. You may retrieve anything you stored at any time. It appears in your hand.
Cool. Okay. You've put this
it's not called pocket dimension.
You've put this into your little space. It disappears. Everyone, the whole party, you have watched Anne seemingly just rip this bloody gem out of Kathy's chest, wipe the blood off on her shirt, like Kathy's shirt, and then make the gem disappear.
I think Apophis looks at Anne and then like waits for her eyes to meet his. I'm not sure if she like would look at him, but he is waiting for her to meet his eyes.
I think if anything, Anne is averting her eyes from everybody, but will only look at Apophis. Like once her eye, once she's like looking at the blood on her hand, and like wipes it as well onto Kathy's corpse, and then like looks up, immediately locking eyes with Apophis.
Wow.
And I think Apophis just like kind of gives her like a confused but also kind of worried look, and then looks down at his own gem and just like looks back up at her.
You're next.
And he's basically trying to convey the message of like, do you see me as just a monster who is carrying this gem? Like, he is saying, like, if it came down to it, would you kill me and rip the gem out of me like you just did with Kathy?
Oh boy, how do you convey in a look what I'm about to say out loud? Anne looks back at Apophis and closes her eyes and just like shakes her head no. And she's going to try to make it as like comforting as possible, but I don't know how you do that. I think that with her line of work, Anne is probably very good at expressing a lot with a little. And so yeah, I think that that's all she does. And yeah.
And I think after she does that, Apophis just kind of looks down and
Very interesting.
I don't know, is playing with sand on the dock or something. Like explicitly looking away from Anne.
Fun. Cool. You have, after you have so basically to describe this scene, after defeating your enemy and putting them in a vulnerable spot, Anne has decided that the best course of action to deal with their enemy that they have just defeated is to kill them, or let them die.
Yep, thank you.
And then loot the bodies.
Just one body.
Just one body. Cool. You have killed, or I'm going to say the whole party has in general killed the lungs of Apophis, and now have the catalyst and the anchor that holds their being.
What happened to Garbanzo?
Huh? Who?
The last time we saw Garbanzo, he was sitting in front of this wind wall, just
You
like
were all
giving
doing
up
your
on his
own thing.
career.
You were all doing your own thing. Who are you talking about?
Chris? Where's Garbanzo?
Teddy went to go get a hat.
Yes.
Both Apophis, Alex, and Cassie were all healing each other, or like doing some medic stuff, and was debating murder. There's no one else here.
This is a bad precedent that we have set. Okay. Fine. If there's no Garbanzo, then there's nothing else to do.
There's a lot of sand everywhere.
Sure.
I'm not gonna sweep. It's not my house.
Yeah. Fuck this pier.
It's a pier. It's not.
Fuck the pier.
What a weird house with no with no walls or ceilings that is over the water.
Hate this pier.
Cool.
Ain't nothing bad ever happened on this pier.
Welcome. So welcome to Big ZD's land.
Why my
Fun.
pier?
Ain't nothing murder on this pier never happened.
Cool. What are you? So yeah, you have all. The sun is starting to rise. You have all been. It's been a very long night. Are you guys doing anything else in this time before we do? I talk more.
Do you think that this would be a good time to go into a break?
Yes, unless anyone wants to do anything.
I think Teddy's just going to kind of like try and get Chuck into kind of like a not a fireman's carry per se, but he's like bracing Chuck like on his back, like putting his arms over his shoulders and things of that nature, and kind of like hooking, like using his robot arm to keep Chuck's arms like together so that he's like slung over his shoulder.
Okay.
And he's gonna look at the rest of the party and just say, anybody want some waffles? Because I think we still got some at the condo.
Cassie's just kind of staring down at Cassie's body right now. Just kind of looking at it, head, looking up at Anne, and then back to Apophis, and then finally to. And she just shrugs and says,
Could eat.
"I could eat."
I think we just need a bit of time, a bit of quiet, and then we can talk.
Apophis, Anne, are you going to say anything? Or just go along with Waffle?
Or Alex.
Or Alex, I guess. Alex.
Alex is silent.
Cool.
Alex is like noticeably silent. I mean, he's normally quiet, but
This is more of like he is actively choosing to be quiet
yeah.
instead of it being in. Apophis, are you?
Apophis is silent until Teddy asks if they want to go back to the cabin for waffles, and Apophis is just going to say, I think I am going to go for a morning walk.
No one has any problems with the plan that has now been set. I am going to say, as you all get up and you walk out, you see the rusty gates of Big ZD Land has been left open for you from the moment you walked in. They never closed. All the lights are off except for the single light inside of the security building where Arthur once stayed. You walk down and leave this place and have come away with a lot of information and, trauma and overall a bad experience. And as you walk away from this place with a weird history, complicated history, not just connected with the location, but the organization that created it in itself, you leave. You've effectively murdered someone and are now going to get waffles. And with that, we're going to take a break.
Wait, I didn't have a chance to say what Anne was doing.
Oh, okay, sorry. You were like not
it's
saying
all
anything.
Good. Yeah, are we just leaving this corpse? Are we just gonna leave this corpse here? Is that the
You
plan?
don't seem to care about the corpse that much, Anne.
I'm sorry. I was letting everybody else talk. I'm learning how to do that. Okay?
I mean, is Anne gonna say anything of that regard? Because in at least in Teddy's mind, like, the corpse isn't going anywhere and no one comes around this way anyway. So it's like
just gonna disrespect the dead even more, huh?
Well, I mean,
wiping their own
this from
blood
the
on
person
him,
who
yeah.
ripped out their chest.
It wasn't my blood. It was
No, but it's still disrespectful
No,
to wipe
I
someone's
think...
blood on a body.
Okay, all right, okay. Disrespect aside.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that Anne, when everybody else is walking away, will without looking at them, just say, I'll take care of Kathy and meet up with the rest of you.
Cool. Fun. Would you like to do that now, or would you like to wait after the break?
I'd like to wait till after the break because I don't know what I'm gonna do with the body, so we'll figure it out.
Okay, cool. Very interesting. I'm glad you wanted to do this. Fun. I can't. So just re-listen to that whole speech I just did. Now we're gonna do our break.
Yeah, we'll see you in 15 minutes. It'll be like around 9:10 when we get back on live. So thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you then.
Cool.
10 after the hour.
Thank you, guys.
My name is Dr. Alexander Rose, and as hard as it may be to believe, I am a vampire. Well, at least partly. I don't even truly remember how this came about. You see, I had a problem with certain controlled substances. I was a user. I also gave freely out of the pharmacy connected to my clinic. There were many that I shared with. All of this culminated with one night, one bite, and my life changed forever. I'm now hunting for my sire, the one who turned me into this, and for any knowledge on my unique condition, while trying to fix the life that I found myself in. I fight the urges. I work to try and make the world now a safer place, for those like I once was, and for those like I am now. To prove my humanity remains, and that I'm more than monstrous.
My name is Anne Darelay, and it's lovely to meet you. For the bulk of my career, I've been a dating coach. This has been a bit contentious for my parents, who think that there are more respectable paths for me to take. What's important to me is that I'm helping people. That's not what got me to where I am now. One day, I stirred from a nap with a message from an unseen deity looping through my head. The apocalypse is coming, it said, and it is your duty to ensure it comes to pass. Something inside me had woken up. As silly as it sounds, I had powers. A year has passed, and I'm no closer to learning the origin of these powers, or bringing about the end of days at that, but I've still found a way to put them to good use. If you ask politely, I'll still give you tips on flirting with a beautiful stranger at the bar, but if they turn out to be a shapeshifter, then I'll be the one to take them out.
I am the head of Apophis, the Egyptian snake god prophesied to swallow the sun and bring about the end of the world. I was summoned from my slumber about 20 years ago by a group who didn't understand the weight of their actions, by a group that failed to acknowledge my power. And so I was split. I should have been risen as a horrifying, monstrous snake, large enough to swallow the sun, but instead I'm just the head of one. As I wondered, contemplating the life I now had before me, this form couldn't bring about the end of days, I began to appreciate the world around me and see what it had to offer. The apocalypse is my destiny, but I'm not sure it's the future I really want.
Huh? Oh, hi! I'm Cassie, and I'm dead. Well, okay, not really dead. Anymore. I think. It's a long story. A longer story than I really have time for right now. I've got something cooking, so just a quick introduction. And then I really need to go. What is there to tell, though? I died for a while. How I died is... it's unimportant. The important part is that my brother Alex and his friends brought me back. And when I got back, things were different. I think I'm a bit taller, I've got quite the appetite. Oh, and I can use magic. Maybe I should have led with that, huh? Well, I got there eventually. Now, I've joined up with the group, and I'm doing everything in my power to be a part of them. It's a long road, I know, but the world needs saving. And if I can help to keep it safe, then I have to at least try. I may not have full control of my power yet, but what's a little bit of chaos if it means saving the world, right? Right?
Yeah, I'll have the Zack Attack, the pancake, and the possum milk, please. Thank you. Oh, jeez, I didn't see you there. Hold on. Let's walk and talk. Anyway, my name is Chuck Duval. or you may know me by my old title, the Silencer. I was an assassin, hired killer type. Would take anyone out for the right price, really, but, you know, like anyone, I've made mistakes, broken promises, I've got deep regret and all that, but not much time left to, stand around moping. But I'm trying to move on, be better, and who knows, maybe I can silence a few no good lowlives on my way out. Oh dang, they forgot my pancake.
1 second, folks. Recalibrating the sonic rifle. Almost there. Hot damn! Oh, shit. Oh, I apologize. Let me introduce myself. My name is Theodore Ulysses Franklin. You can call me Teddy. Born in good old San Antonio, Texas, back in 1959. My mama was Mexican, my daddy a cow rancher, and C. Hablo Español. After graduating from MIT with various degrees, I delved into some of the fringe sciences. There, I discovered the existence of the supernatural, and I realized my purpose: researching the unexplained and protecting normal folks from the terrors in the dark. My savings went into building Old Tex, my mobile base of operations, out of the scraps of a 442 Atlantic steam locomotive. Old Tex and I travel across the country, fighting monsters, protecting people, and riding the rails.
Hello. Oh, I'm off.
Welcome.
A little. Ooh. Okay.
Welcome everyone back to the second half of this session. That
We were talking about beach volleyball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall we do our obligatory snack check?
Brownie. Done.
Kettle corn in a bag.
Popcorn and a Go-Gurt.
Dustin, anything?
I'm not eating anything, but I do have those Cheez-Its just off camera,
Cool.
if I decide to. So if you see me snacking, sorry guys.
I have Lay's Poppables, apple.
I haven't had apple juice in such a long time.
It's
Get the
apple.
chip and the apple juice. Do it.
Imagine like
Do it.
apple but liquid.
Oh, I also have peppermint tea
Nice.
in my Brian David Gilbert mug.
Dip it.
Cyber
Dip a
Goji
chip.
has Chester's Flaming Hot Fries. Thank you, Cyber Goji, for the snack. So, anything else we want to talk about before we get into this fun part?
Are you?
Does anyone else in the audience have snacks they want to share?
Can
I
anyone
guess,
else in the audience help us stall?
So we don't have this conversation.
Ask me about my life. Ask me about what I did today.
Don't ask me about Chuck's life. I've already done that.
Dip a kettle corn in the tea.
Oh.
I don't think
Oh.
anyone else is sharing their snack.
Why is it always Masha doing the weird food stuff?
I asked
You
Chris
know-
3 to do it,
you know
and he
what? You know what?
Wait, what do you mean? What did
It was
I do?
kind of good.
What,
I
did
asked
do
you to dip a
something?
chip at the apple. No, you didn't. I
makes it
asked
really
you to dip
fun.
a chip in the
Oh,
apple.
here, I'll dip
It makes
in
a
the
really
apple juice.
fun. You're not gonna be able to hear it. It makes a really fun little like sizzly noise. It's not gonna pick up on fucking camera.
I mean,
Bartleby Prime is having a vanilla cupcake with rainbow frosting.
That
I mean, it's
sounds
sweet, it's
nice.
salty. I don't know, it's good.
That sounds good, yeah.
You should next time when you go get your next cup of apple juice, you should muddle a bunch of those chips at the bottom and then pour it in, and then it'll be like you'll have these little chunkies of chips in while you're sipping.
That just sounds bad. I don't like the texture.
Trust me, I'm a drink mixologist. That's what they're called.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I recommend muddling chips into the bottom of your apple juice.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
Yeah, I think
Cyber Koji, did you know
like-
that veggie chips actually don't really have vegetables in them? They're just like, I think they're still potato. I guess potato's a vegetable, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not like made of carrot.
A potato isn't a vegetable; it's a root.
does it not depend on like the brand though?
It might.
It might, but Cyber Goji capitalized veggie chips, which I feel like is the brand.
Okay.
I did buy carrot chips, like they're chips made from carrot slices, but after I bought it, I saw there was a note on the back that was like, because of you live in California, here's our obligatory message that this might contain things that'll give you cancer. And I was like, well, I don't want to eat
As you do.
cancer carrot chips. Why would you? That warning should never be on food. Like it's been on like apartment buildings and like paint cans, but the fact that it's on fucking vegetable chips is unreal to me. And they're still sitting in my cabinet. I'm just gonna let them go bad.
Like in California, G Fuel has the legal amount of lead required to be known as a cause of cancer.
Cyber Goji, it might be flour.
So if any of you guys are real gamers and eating G Fuel, watch out.
Also, just check the ingredients on the bag, I suppose, because they gotta list out what's in there.
Me, I love lead in my drink. That's what I'm looking for. Fun. Are we all ready to start?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Cool. Let's get the first thing in chronological order done. And what are you doing with this body
Plop.
as you are shoving popcorn in your mouth? What are you doing with your victim?
Why are you trying to make me feel bad?
I don't know. It's murder.
Because
There's no
we
murder.
killed his NPC that he created that we all liked.
I did like her.
Which
I did.
NPC? Oh, Kathy.
Kathy.
Oh yes, the person I murdered.
Damn,
Wow.
damn. That's kind of incriminating, really.
Wow, which person did I murder? Wow, okay. What are you doing with the body? I was like, oh, this character is going to be such a fun foil to Apophis. Oh, I can't wait to see where people take this. dead.
You not my fault. You gave me the option to just kill her.
I'm sorry I gave you options. Please, now I'm giving you the option. What are you doing with the body?
I want to hear more about how Mars's yogurt has Nessie on it.
No.
It's got Nessie on it.
Guys.
Okay,
Oh my
I
gosh,
can
it's
tell it's
so
Nessie
long.
because she's waving and there's a castle in the back.
Masha,
Okay. All right.
what are you
Is
doing
my
with the
phone
body?
working now? Is my phone working now?
It's now covered with frowny emojis, as you have now killed one of the main people who are going to cause the apocalypse, or wanted to cause the apocalypse.
Well,
It's
she
covered
let-
in frowny emojis.
She let
Yes.
die. You
She
know,
let die, you know.
semantics.
Completely antithesis to the mission.
Yeah.
Bar-
Bartleby does say, to be fair, Apophis did Falcon Punch her into the underworld.
That is true. That is factual.
Oh, I want that animated.
So,
We could just play Super Smash again.
and what
okay.
are you doing?
Well, if nobody wants to talk to me on the phone, then I'm just gonna Angel Wings Kathy into the middle of the ocean.
Perfect place to hide the body. Okay.
I mean,
You grab the body. I'm not gonna make. Does this count as a person anymore? I don't know.
no.
This seems like a ethical conversation.
Does a corpse become an object after it dies?
Yes.
According to D&D rules, yes.
Okay, cool. So we'll go by classic.
Blame Wizards of the
Dungeons and
Coast.
Dragons. Thanks, Wizards. Anyway, so you grab this corpse, and you teleport out to the middle of the ocean, and can't like actually fly or levitate. So and just plops into the ocean with this body.
I think that she would probably plop in from like 10 feet up too, because the last time she was in the ocean,
Alright.
she was like on a boat probably.
Yeah.
That
you
possum
drop
had
by,
floated a long way.
you see the possum of Zeke or Zach go, "Hello, please save me," as you like plop Kathy's body next to him.
Or on top of him.
Is he actually there?
No, it's
Okay.
well,
Well, because I would
You-
pull him out.
You would have saved the possum robot from death.
But does the possum head now count as a person because it has a consciousness?
It is a person, so you would have to roll. Anyway, so you're
According to
above the-
D&D rules, yes.
You're in the air, and you're falling with Kathy's body. Blood's getting on you from her open wound. What are you doing? You're just dropping her and angel wingsing away as you're falling into the ocean.
I think I'm gonna fall into the ocean, and I am going to just tread water and watch Kathy sink. It's not as macabre as it sounds.
Oh,
So you're face down watching the
Yeah, so
Face down, eyes open, salt and water. This is how
So-
you know Anne's lost it.
so anyway, so describe
Anne
this
pulls
situation.
swim goggles out of her pocket dimension.
So anyway, just to explain this situation, and after you have let this person die and then looted the body of their gem containing like their main power source, you teleport out to the middle of the ocean. You don't teleport into the ocean. You teleport above the ocean, so you fall into the ocean. And then as you fall into the ocean, now covered with your victim's blood, you let them sink into the ocean, and you watch as they sink to make sure that they're down there.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then I just kind of float for a while.
Are we the baddies?
Fun.
no.
Are we the bad guys? Hi. Oh, are we the bad
Look, man.
guys?
Getting arrested for murder is not on Anne's 10-year plan. So
Okay, so now you are soaked with salt water and blood. As you see, like, the salt water sort of like going into this chest cavity as she sinks down to the bottom. Her like very beaten up, like bruised face, very calm in this moment, sinks to the bottom. Eyes
Kathy's in her
closed.
human form right now, right?
Yes, Kathy's in her human form with a giant hole in her chest. She seems not very peaceful. She has a face of just regret, sort of like a face of like, she has a frown on her face as she sinks down into the depths.
Just full
So,
on.
yeah. And you are floating in the middle of the ocean, the middle of nowhere.
Dun-dun.
And Anne gets eaten by a shark. It all comes around. The
Dun-dun.
prophecy is complete.
Good
See
night.
you all next season.
That's it. End of season 1. It's just Anne getting eaten by a shark. Well, I am keeping next episode. You guys ready for a submarine episode? That's not what's happening.
Oh.
And you get a. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you just
No.
standing there, or do you want to do anything specifically while you're floating in the middle of the ocean?
I think that I'm just gonna float on my back, just like ever so slowly, like rubbing the blood out of my clothing.
Oh, fun. Okay, you gotta clean the evidence. So you are floating in the ocean, and you get you hear your phone buzz in your pocket.
Very waterproof phone.
Yeah, while in the water. I was like, wow.
No, your phone is dead, but it's buzzing.
Of course it is. I'm gonna pick it up and look at it.
You look at it, you just see like the water droplets that are on the phone turn into a mouth. Like it's a mouth made of water on the phone.
Mm.
And it just sort of it looks at you
I
and
kiss
it says,
it. I'm kidding.
Okay, fine. And from it you hear the voice of the tribunal come out, say, "And Darrelay, we would like to ask what you are planning, or what you think you are doing."
I'm getting clean.
We do not see how this improves the goal or furthers the mission.
It was an accident.
An accident to directly disobey our one wish of you?
Your one wish required me to disobey, to harm my friends.
And Erle, you don't understand. You work for us. Your friends, your goal is to get Apophis to cause the end of the world. You directly, nothing matters besides that point. Your friends will die either way. It is what we have asked.
Then I wasn't strong enough to do it.
Well, that is glaringly obvious. Not only do you actively disobey our wishes and stop one of the main forces from completing our goal, you then proceed to take it a step further by actively killing one of the pieces that is supposed to cause the end of the world. And unless you are about to give that piece to Apophis so that they may further their transformation to end the world, I don't fathom what you're doing.
What I find funniest about all this is that I don't even know who you are. You gave me powers I didn't ask for, and maybe it doesn't mean anything to you to have friends, to have people who care about you, to people you care about. This is arguably the first time in my life I have felt like people will ride or die for me. I haven't spoken to my parents in years. I don't have siblings. So, I am sorry that you tasked a mortal with a god's job. If you want me to give the gem to Apophis, I'll do it. But I will not allow someone else to bring them to harm.
All these things you claim to matter, my identity, the things you call friends, your parents, I find them trivial under the idea that the world will end. And these powers that I have given you are exactly that, a gift that you have been blessed to receive. Without my help, you would not be able to save any of these things you call friends. I will talk to you again soon. And then the droplets fall onto your face.
Yeah, I think that I'm just going to break down. Just here in the middle of the ocean, just floating on my back, crying, like weeping uncontrollably for a while. As I put my phone back in my pocket and just exist
Cool.
for a little bit.
Just a fun beach ep, right?
Just a fun beach episode, guys.
We needed a recharge. Yeah.
Yeah, so Anne is relaxing under the sun while she's maybe drowning. Let's go back to the other group. You're all at the condo. Making waffles? Apophis did go on a walk.
I think Teddy definitely put Chuck in like one of the beds of the condo. I don't know if there's like some on the first floor or on the second floor, but just like
there's like rooms on every floor. It's meant to hold like a lot of people or like a team.
Sure. Then I think Teddy would put him just kind of like on one of the first floor rooms.
Okay. It's like a fun little like surfer themed bedroom like for the boys in blue. If you want, there's like a hula room too. If you'd rather put that one.
What's the hula room like?
It's like green with a lot of like flowers and stuff, and like hula dancers of all kinds, just sort of, dancing. You have like the little hula girl alarm clock.
I'm just gonna keep them in the surfer room.
Okay.
And I think Teddy's just gonna go into the kitchen and start heat up the waffle iron
waffles
and start whisking together some
as
batter.
A character from the Oscar-winning movie Shrek would say, I'm making waffles.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
It is the morning.
It is the morning, and you are making waffles.
Total
Apophis, are you doing anything on your walk, or are you just aimlessly just walking and thinking about your things? And if so, would you like to describe what Apophis is going through right now?
I think Apophis's first reaction is like Anne has not come back yet, and he is going back to Big ZD's land because as much as he doesn't want to face Anne right now and doesn't want to deal with the repercussions of her actions, he knows that it's going to happen sooner or later, and he's also worried about her because she's not come back yet. And
okay.
So they're walking back to Big ZD's land.
You walk back to Big Z's lands. The floor feels a lot flimsier than it did the night before. Everything, just from the carnage, from the fighting, it's in a much worse state than it was yesterday when you first saw it. The Hall of Mirrors is completely gone. It's not there anymore. The haunted house is still there. The museum full of big ZD artifacts is still there. Everything is as you had left it last night, except the Hall of Mirrors just seemingly has disappeared.
I think Apophis is just gonna kind of keep wandering around and maybe like call out to Anne a few times. But he's not going to. He's just kind of wandering around and like thinking.
Cool. You're walking around a sad old amusement park. Maybe you come across some other animatronic Zacks that have been like turned off. They are not alive. They are just sort of there, broken. They seem to be like chained down to chairs, but they are not. They are not moving, or seem to be alive at any level. You find like a diner that's full of like rotten big ZD food. Very smelly in there. But yeah, nothing Anne has not here. Alex and Cassie, what are you up to? Eating waffles?
I think, Alex is definitely not eating waffles because he kind of can't eat anymore.
Just to feel something,
And then vomit everything.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
Just to feel something.
No, he's not doing that. He's, I feel like Alex is just kind of looking out the window at the moment. Cassie's eating a waffle. But she's not like, even that isn't the same. Like, there's not as much energy in her in the way that she's eating. Like she's beat up. She looks tired. And like, perhaps for the first time since she came back, she looks like she's just.
Sorry, repeat that. You cut out for.
Oh, that she's just eating to live.
Oh, okay.
Instead of just enjoying the food.
Okay.
Living to eat.
Anyway,
Yeah.
as you all are sitting eating waffles, Teddy, you are making them on the pan. You see Chuck walks out of the bedroom, and he sort of like groggily like sits down at the stool, and he's like, "Honestly, I would have preferred the hula girl room." As he sits down, he seems very tired and oblivious. He's like, "That was a crazy night. Weird dream."
Yeah? What'd you dream about?
Went to, honestly, doesn't matter. Run down stuff. Weird amusement park. Don't want to really think about it.
Right. How many waffles can I get you, Chuck?
At least 2.
Teddy's gonna slap 3 onto a plate and slide it over. And,
This is what I asked for.
and hand over some like shovel over some like syrup or some
Perfect. Yeah. Honestly, waffles are like in most ways superior to pancakes because they have it's just a crispier experience, and they hold like the little syrup in the little cups of the waffle. So much better overall, in my opinion. But if that causes a problem for any of you 2 young people, then I apologize if you prefer pancakes like a weirdo.
I don't. And Dustin, feel free to correct me on this if you'd like, but I'd like to think that Chuck is just talking to silence, like where all the rest of us are just like so tired and like out of it that we're just kind of like letting him ramble.
Yeah.
Chuck does not know that what happened last night actually happened. He thinks that is a bad dream, as he is eating his waffles kind of solemnly. As he he sort of just, monotonely just goes over like his, like why he likes waffles and certain breakfast items over other things. And he's like, and don't even get me started about Canadian bacon. That's a freaking sin against God. Who thinks that that's bacon? That's freaking ham.
Okay, so just real quick, I want waffles in real life now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh,
it's what we do.
Temptation to make them is. This is not the first time I've been craving waffles after a turntables game.
Mhm.
So
have you guys
Cool.
seen?
And are
Gamers
you?
Movies?
Oh, sorry.
Never mind, it was a tangent. Go on.
Okay, cool. And are you? How long are you staying in the ocean? And if you do, when are you teleporting back? Who do you teleport back to?
oh man.
Which one of your friends do you like the most at this moment?
Don't forget I can just teleport 2 places.
You could also do that. And
It's not obligatory for me to
choose a favorite right now.
It's
It's Arthur. You teleport to Arthur. He's
the
okay.
the Irish guy at the bar. He was cool.
Oh,
I
you go
teleport
all-
to Jean.
To Patty Murphy.
Jean
yes.
is living in the condo with you guys.
Oh god, that's really awkward. You just see Anne come out of Jean's room and everyone's like,
What?
Anne? What you been up to, girl? If
Jean
anyone
walks
has
out.
watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the whole thing with the rogue slayer who's just like, yeah, boning after you kill people is super rad.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, that's
Faith
a whole
is a trip.
sentence.
Yeah.
Well, my question to you, Chris, as keeper,
Yes.
is how much more do you have planned? Because I almost wonder if it would be better of a lead into my mystery for Anne to just be gone.
I have a couple of things planned. It really depends on what everyone wants to do.
I
To
see.
list the options, I guess, that Teddy does now have a card that he could use at any point if he would like to.
Yeah.
Chuck still does not know what's going on. If they want to have a conversation with Chuck about that, he is fully open to that. Alex and Cassie can do whatever they want. Apophis can come back if they're done looking for Anne, and then they can have a conversation. Chuck might want to say stuff to Apophis. It's up to you if you'd rather just say Anne stays in the water.
Lord. I think that Anne would stay in the water for a good long while. It's very hard to suss out the length of time it takes for someone to feel okay again. It's something
Tell
that
me
you
when you
suss
find
out,
out.
like, in the moment, right? Like, in
Yeah.
real life, it could be 10 minutes, it could be a couple hours.
Hopefully not a few days, but it
Well,
could happen.
Well, that would be bad. Anne would just be very salty after
Yeah, I guess
that
it's
and
just-
maybe eaten by sharks.
Yeah,
There's
there's also an
barnacles
issue.
growing
You are
on her.
covered with blood in the open ocean.
Oh yeah.
So who knows
think-
what's gotten a whiff of you?
I think that Anne. You know what? Let's. Okay. I think that probably just Anne would just like pull herself together. Steel herself, kind of like blank her face, and then
Punch a shark. It'll make you feel better.
Start fighting the sharks that have come to eat Anne. Just be like,
I mean,
"Neat."
for real though, Anne versus a shark, who do you think would win?
And
Well-
Anne would absolutely win.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have. I mean, guys, to play devil's advocate for a moment, Anne is in water, and I don't think sword whips would go that great through the water.
she could just grab onto a fin and teleport it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Or I could soothe the sharks and they could be my friends.
You could also
Yeah.
soothe the sharks, and
But
Anne
could
become.
could
Very-
the, could the
an
sound,
very
Aquaman
good
could the
reply.
sound of your words travel in the water fast enough to get to the
Just screams into the ocean. Be my friend.
Calm down.
It has to be in a quiet voice,
Cool.
explicitly. Calm down.
So, Anne, do you go back, or would you rather save this conversation next time? That is inevitably has to happen.
I think I will go back, but I think that I would teleport to Apophis,
Okay.
remembering that Apophis is out for a walk on their own.
Yes. Cool. So you angel wings to Apophis. Apophis, you are, I don't know if you want to still say that you are on the pier or not, or maybe you walked away. That is up to you.
I think it depends on like how long it takes Anne. I think it was like sunrise-ish when they all initially left the pier. I think Apophis would basically stay on the pier looking for Anne until like noon or so.
Okay. Cool. I'm going. So I think Anne gets back in time for that. And so I'm going to say Anne, you reappear on the pier, and Apophis is there, just sort of either sitting there waiting or just walking around through the rubble.
I think when Anne pops into existence, Apophis turns to her and says, I'm glad you're back.
Keep in mind, I am like dripping with salt water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your phone's broken. You're all wet.
Comedically, a fish flops onto the deck and just got.
Now that death was too far. That one was that fish didn't deserve it.
I went for a night, like a night snorkel. I went with it on a night snorkel once, and when my friend took off her her wetsuit after wearing it, a live fish did flop out from her sleeve.
Fun.
But it was like this big, so it was like comical, especially because it was like the tiniest fish ever. But there were all of these fish that would swim like directly at our faces, right at the surface level of the water, which was like really unsettling because it was pitch black outside. Anyway,
cool. What does Anne say to Apophis now that they've returned, or did they say nothing at all?
I have a lot that I need to figure out. And you know this already. Our destinies are intertwined.
I have a lot to figure out as well. Do you want to... He kind of looks around, not really sure where to go with this statement, but he says, do you want to talk about it?
I don't think I'm ready to talk about it. I don't even know if I could describe what just happened. So, if you will forgive me for a little bit, I would like to postpone our conversation about all of this.
Apophis nods and looks at Anne and says, Anne, I do not know how to feel about you, but I know that I am willing to forgive you for the time being, and I know that I am here when or if you want to talk about what is going through your head.
And I will nod and squeeze out my hair. Yeah. And then just say, I'm not hungry, but I know that Chuck is probably going to wake up soon, and when he realizes what happens, it might be better if all of us are there. So I guess it's time to face the music?
Apophis nods and says, I know you can teleport magically and everything, but would you like to just walk back with me?
Yeah. Yeah, I would like that.
And Apophis just starts walking.
Okay, cool. I'm as you guys are walking back, and to check back in on the other gang. Teddy, you placed the card in your front pocket, correct?
Yep.
Cool. And then you took off that shirt and then gave it to Cassie.
Yep.
Cool. So, Cassie, you have a shirt around your leg, I believe, correct? Or whatever, right? Cool. You feel like kind of like the poking of a card on your like leg injury.
Does she? You gotta ask. Do you? I mean, if she did, I don't know if she'd feel it now. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, no, I think it's just like you sit down in the stool weirdly, and then you feel sort of like a tension of like there's something sharp in the shirt that I'm wearing.
You okay? Oh.
She kind of reaches down, starts feeling around that shirt, and she pulls out the card.
Right.
Cool. Chuck sort of glances over, and he gets a very sad look on his face as he's like, Where'd you get that?
Teddy's gonna walk around and hold out his hand for Cassie to give it to him and say, "Sorry, Cassie, didn't mean to leave that in there." Sorry, I didn't catch that, Dustin.
We didn't hear.
Yeah, no, I was in the middle of she will hand it to him.
Okay, cool. When Teddy grabs it, Chuck just is instinctively like, Teddy, I just give me that card.
Teddy's gonna keep it in his hand, but he's going to walk around. I'm assuming the kitchen island that everyone's eating on. That's like what I envisioned.
Yeah.
And he's not gonna put it away. He's just gonna keep it in his hand. But he's gonna look at Chuck and he's gonna say, "Chuck, there's a lot we have to talk about what happened on that pier. But I want to wait until Apophis and Ann come back to do it. And at the same time, I tried my best to respect your privacy, Chuck, because I respect you. So it really should just be a conversation between you, Apophis, Ann, and myself. I don't want to keep Alex and Cassie out of it, but I know how private you are, and there's a lot more that we know now that I'm not sure you want all of us to know. If you do, great. But," and he kind of like, he holds up the card and he says, "This is not a part of that. It's complicated, but I'm not giving you this card."
Chuck just sort of like has his hands on the table and he's sort of like clenching them into fist as he doesn't understand what you mean by like what you may or may not know, or what he doesn't understand like what you're talking about, because it could be like my deal with the devil. That could be Chuck has so many things going on in his head. He's like, what are you talking about? And I guess as you say this, Apophis and you walk in.
Alex and I need to have a talk anyway. So, and Alex just kind of looks at himself. But he says, "So we're going to take a walk on the beach, and you all can handle whatever it is you need to handle."
Teddy kind of nods and he says, "Again, I don't mean to alienate the two of you. If Chuck decides that the information is shareable, then of course he'll know."
I trust you guys. You do what you do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm sure you will find out. And Cassie and Alex stand up and step outside.
And Teddy's, man, I really don't want to have this conversation in the kitchen.
Gene like walks over, is like, waffles! I love waffles.
What are we doing, guys? I don't even
What are we
remember what
doing
Gene's
over
voice sounds
here?
like
I don't
anymore.
know.
Is there like a dark and spooky room we can go to, like a themed scary
there's
dungeon
there's
for
an
a harsh
armory.
conversation?
I was thinking about doing like, you know, a campfire on the beach kind of situation. You know?
I mean, if you want to wait till sundown.
Oh,
to
that's right,
start a
because it's like the middle
campfire.
of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like lunchtime now.
Damn it. Okay. Maybe just like in the living room, I guess. Like there's like a sitting area, right? Like a...
Yeah, it's an open concept kind of. You have like the kitchen and then like little steps that lead down to a recessed living area that's, you know, like wood paneling couches with like sort of like a dark blue, light blue kitchen on them. Very nautical themed. There's a fireplace with like a giant picture of a boat over it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the detail of the ceiling because I've gone through bad tracks with that.
There's like netting, you know, to be like themed. I think Teddy's going to walk around the kitchen table to be kind of like parallel to Chuck, and he's gonna say, "You should sit down, and we will."
I am sitting. I'm on this stool. I don't know what you mean.
Fine. If you want to sit, if you want to stay on the stool, stay on the stool. And he looks at Anne and Apophis and he says, "I don't know how to start. I can. I don't know if either of you want to have this conversation right now, but it seems like we're heading towards this conversation right now."
Chuck just sort of looks around, like all three of you, kind of feeling that something has, like, sort of coming to the realization that, like, the parts he remembers from the pier actually happened. And he's like, what did you guys see on the pier?
I believe we also saw something different.
There were 3 doors, Chuck.
Doors? What are you talking about?
We saw you go into... We don't know if it was you, but we saw you go into the haunted house. We followed and followed you. She was attacked.
I thought I saw someone I knew, and so I was running after them.
When Anne pursued, she was attacked by a sand dummy, probably from that freaky ass clown that you don't remember either. And
At least.
And once he was out of the way, we heard you thumping through the wall. And that's when the room changed. And suddenly there were 3 doors in front of us, labeled the beginning, the accident, and the man.
Bam.
And they were all for you, Chuck.
What? I don't know what any of that means.
Chuck. And as I'm speaking, I am absolutely not making eye contact with anybody, just looking down. I walked through a door and I saw your childhood, your young adulthood. Yeah.
What do you... I don't know what you mean by that.
Your memories. I think I could walk around in them but not interact with them, and I saw your mother and your father and all the shit that came with it.
Chuck just sort of like bites his lip as he's like kind of looks away for a moment. And he's like, "Is that all?"
I saw parts of your life. Well,
That couldn't. What moments?
I saw. I don't remember what I saw.
Okay, cool. You you saw Chuck meeting his father just before he was retiring, and then Chuck kills his dad, and then after that you see Chuck summoning the uh, devil with the card by poking his finger, placing it on the card, and then the card sort of turning into a door that he then goes through and makes a deal with the devil, explaining that, hey, my soul is valuable to you because there's a lot of people in hell that would really want a chance to come and get revenge on me. So cure my lung cancer and make me stronger, and I will for a year. And you can do with my soul as you wish, and then I'm sure you can get a lot more deals by using me as a bargain token.
So I think Apophis just says, I saw the end of your father's life, and I saw your deal.
Chuck just sort of stares up at Apophis and sort of like eyes like very stone cold stare, but also sort of a recognition of like an appreciation that you didn't mention the circumstances of his dad's death. And then he turns his cold stare to Teddy and he's like, "And you?"
Teddy kind of like sighs and he turns and he looks Chuck in the eyes, meeting his gaze, and he says, I saw you meet Marguerite for the first time at her birthday party. Or the first instance that you were her bodyguard. I watched the two of you fall in love. I watched her become Daisy. And then I watched her leave you.
Chuck just sort of looks down at his half plate of waffles, hiding his eyes with the brim of his hat. Tears go down his cheeks through his beard and plop into the puddle of syrup that is now soaking into the waffle. And his hands that have sort of been clenched this whole time just sort of relaxes as he just sort of, just shakes his head and is like, okay, cool. Now you know.
I'm sorry, Chuck. There was no way out. There was no way forward. It was only the way forward.
I just please. I don't. You all know. You all have seen it. I guess the kind of person I am. I don't know. I just didn't. I just put all that stuff behind me. I'm just tired. I'm all these. I don't know. Maybe. I think I just constantly ask myself who I am. What am I? What am I doing? What's my goal? And I'm just so confused.
We didn't catch that last part, Chris.
Oh, sorry. I'm just like, what part?
it was the last, like, I feel like 3 words you said.
Okay.
It just didn't pick up on the mic.
He was just saying I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to react to any of this. Like, you've all just looked at my life like a fucking slideshow movie. I don't.
We all understand, or we have all seen 3 separate pieces. We haven't seen, but we know you. These pieces of your past are as much you as Kathy is to me. They're parts of your past, but they're not a definition of who you are now. Oh yes, also Kathy is part of me.
What? Like,
was
who?
part of me.
What are you talking? Who?
Screaming lady.
Oh, Kathy.
Screaming lady. Like the girl from the Bigfoot show? What do you mean she's a part of you?
That's a conversation for another time. Your history is as much part of you as Greg Washington is to me. They're separate but related.
I think Chuck just sort of like shakes his head and is like, I have lived a long, complicated life. And in the end, any of these, I constantly ask myself who I am, and I feel like any of these monsters that we fight, the Elapids, the Warlock, the Fairies, these things that kill people and just don't care about the family or the wreckage they leave behind, I feel like, I don't know, feel like I'm just like them. I don't see the amount of carnage I've caused, the amount of horrible things I've done. It's all a part of me. And I'll never be able to ever make up for what I've done. And so confused. I wanted to make a difference, but every day I wake up and I think to myself how disappointed I am that I've made it through the night. And I don't know, I'm just so tired. I'm not like you, Teddy. I can't just keep going like this.
Chuck, you don't think that it's hard for me too? I understand what it's like to feel tired, Chuck. I want you to know, and I hope I can speak for everyone else in this room, but we may have watched parts of your life, but never once did I judge you for any one of those parts. I can only imagine what a breach of privacy this feels like, to have even close friends become that intimate with your deepest secrets. And I'm sorry again for that. But never once during that experience did I ever think that you were a monster. And you know what I saw. And Teddy just kind of like strokes his facial hair real fast and kind of like takes a deep breath, and he says, like a wise woman once said, who are we to choose who's a monster and who's human?
Chuck just sort of silent. He's like, I don't. Does anyone else want to say anything? Or we're going to sit in silence for a...
I think Apapa's gonna say anything.
Okay. Anything? Ian?
I don't think that Anne can say anything right now. She's
Going
in
through
a
her own
bad
things.
she is in a bad way. I think that I don't know what our orientation is right now, but I think that
I imagine Apophis and Anne are still sort of at the door, and then Chuck is sitting at the island, and Teddy's on the other side.
Yeah, I figured that they would still be they would be like closer than the door, but just like still like below because of the elevation change into the kitchen and stuff. But yeah. If there's nothing else that anyone else wants to say, then I think Teddy's gonna walk over to Chuck and just put a hand on his shoulder, hoping that Chuck will meet his eyes, and he's just gonna say, "It's okay." And he's gonna turn and he's gonna look at Anne and he's gonna look at Apophis and he's gonna nod again, look back at Chuck and just grip and say, "It's okay."
I think Chuck meets your eyes, fall in his face. And he's just like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I don't mean to put any extra drama. I don't hate any of you for looking. I just want to get the job done.
I think as Teddy is saying to Chuck that it's okay, I think Apophis turns to Anne and just tries to make eye contact with her to, like, kind of let her know that that message is for her as well.
yeah, I think Anne catches it.
Cool. Fun. Is there anything else you want to say in this powerful moment of our characters sort of connect? This emotional level is sort of an understanding is met.
I think
Any words left unsaid? Sorry, Teddy.
No, yeah, I think Teddy still gripping Chuck's shoulder. I think Teddy is going to kind of like pivot and kind of like turn out to where like he's like on Chuck's side now, you know, still gripping the shoulder. He will pocket the card because he has to for this, but like he'll pocket it very quickly and then like hold out a hand, his other hand, his robot hand to Anne. And he's gonna look at Apophis and he's gonna say, fuck it, you know, I think we need a group hug.
Fun. I think Chuck
I am
just sort of
willing-
sits there.
I am willing to manipulate someone if I have to.
If you want to. I think if anyone is like totally against this, like if Anne is like, I do not want a hug.
Well, I think that Anne lets out kind of a kind of like a strained giggle and says, should I get Alex and Cassie then? Cassie likes hugs a lot too.
We'll do another one when they get back. But I feel like we're all four of us, including them, but you know, they're having their own conversation. I feel like all of us in this room are right on a wire. And it's time to lose the tension.
Cool.
I'll come in for a hug.
Let's bring it in, guys.
Apophis is going to be very awkward about it.
Apophis, get in here.
Apophis can be on the
Apophis is
outside.
Come on.
I think Apophis is like the
Guys,
number
come
of times Apophis has had a hug could be counted on one hand. So he's not very experienced with hugs. But
One beetle.
Hey, come on, guys. Hey, it's okay.
Hey.
Oh, very very close.
Hey, it's
Thank you.
okay. Hey, it's okay.
It's all
Hey,
good.
it's okay.
Hello, it's me. I am very close. Now I am further away.
Dustin,
glad we could do that.
Dustin, get ready because you're gonna be next in that one too. But yeah, I think Teddy's going to. You know, I'm assuming Chuck is like probably not gonna get off the stool or anything like that. So Teddy's just gonna kind of like slide his arm around Chuck's shoulder and just grip his other shoulder and kind of like do that kind of like side hug kind of thing.
Yeah, I
And
think
then-
Chuck like awkwardly pats Teddy's back.
Right on. That's a good sign. And then I think he's just gonna kind of like he's just gonna kind of like shoulder Anne and kind of like just bring her close to the two of them. And then if Apophis is like somewhere around there, like trying to also do like a side hug thing, I think Teddy's just gonna kind of like quickly like reach up to Apophis's shoulder and just kind of like grip it comfortably. Or like comfortingly, before returning back to like Anne and just kind of like again, it's like an upper kind of like shoulder kind of grip, you know, because sometimes you just kind of really need that kind of pressure around the shoulders.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun. Does anyone want to add anything else to this, or emotional moment at the time, or shall we move on to other things?
I think Teddy's just gonna, in the middle of all that, he's just gonna say, "We're okay."
I think Apophis is gonna give kind of a half laugh to that until he realizes Teddy's not actually joking.
We're not okay. What do you mean? In an objective stance, okay, we are not. Anyway, so I think Chuck just sort of like nods, is still tears going down his face. And he sort of locks eyes with Anne. And I think Chuck sort of has an understanding of someone who has just done some stuff. Chuck is not all too not too afamiliar with looking into the eyes of a killer.
Okay.
Okay.
Technically, I feel like Apophis was the one who
We're
killed
laying this on
her.
thick.
But
Sure. I mean, if you want to say who acted, like, because would Apophis have saved Kathy? If,
no, absolutely. I don't actually know what Apophis.
if
would have
Apophis
done.
was standing over Kathy's
Yeah,
human
it's a
body
hard choice,
dying,
isn't it?
It's a hard choice. And so
I mean,
Chuck.
says the one who was like, "Hey, I want to go over to Kathy."
Anyway,
Apophis probably would have saved Kathy, but like, he was
Okay,
the
cool.
one who dealt the damage that led to
Anyway,
her death.
I phrased that poorly. I apologize.
I'm just giving you shit.
I'm sorry. Chuck just looks at the eyes of someone who's made a hard decision
Mhm.
involving
That works.
someone's life, and understands because he looks himself in the mirror every morning. Anyway, cool. So cool. I'm going to say that this is this moment has reached its conclusion. If Teddy, you want to do anything with the card, you can, or you can save that for a later mystery or session for whoever wants to deal with it. That is up to you. I will give you that time now to decide. If not, we can move over to what the siblings are up to.
You know, I'm gonna save it for another time.
Cool, perfect. That's totally okay. That is a valid option. Which then brings us to the siblings. Alex and Cassie, you have just walked outside of the condo and are going on a walk down the beach. It's like 12. It's like a little after 12, maybe it's getting to 1, 2-ish. You are walking down the beach.
Yeah, they're less walking at this point now, and just standing in the sand. Cassie's standing like a little bit into the waves wash up over her feet, and Alex is standing a little bit back, and I want to say that we join them kind of mid conversation, as they're talking, and Alex says, "I know that coming from me, this is going to sound secrets tear you apart." And Cassie says, "I know, but I know I can't do that."
Dustin, just to quickly interrupt, can you talk closer to the mic just to
Yeah,
try to
it's just
alleviate
breaking
this
up.
issue?
Yeah.
Just because if you are revealing character information.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Yes.
Here, wait, keep talking.
ASMR special, baby.
Yeah, let's try this.
Okay, I am leaning closer. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on with the microphone, but I
Do
guess
you have
it's
like
just
your
not happy.
Discord automatically determine input sensitivity on? Because that could be it.
No, I'm push to talk at this point, just
okay.
so it stopped doing that. So I don't know. Hopefully my microphone's not going bad. Anyways, what did you miss?
I heard Cassie, it's not good to keep secrets.
Okay, I know that, Alex, but I can't. Not anymore. I mean, and Alex says, I'm keeping this for you because you are my sister. But I'm encouraging you now that it only gets worse from here. And and Cassie just kind of shakes her head, and she goes, but you saw what happened. A monster. And Alex just, he can't help but kind of laugh a little bit, and he goes, it is a feeling that I understand all too well, Cassie. But you are no more monster than any of the rest of us. Shakes her head again, and she slowly turns around, and she's just kind of like scratching at her stomach, and she says, "But you saw, Alex. We all did." And her stomach shimmers a little bit, and as she pulls her hand away, the image of her stomach fades to that of a gemstone stretched across her entire stomach. Saw that she tore it away. I I don't want to have to force them to make that kind of decision with me. Cassie, it is different, and you know that it is. Alex, that is my decision for now. I can't tell them about this. And she waves her hand over her stomach again, and it now looks like a regular stomach once more as the glamour washes over it once again. And she just smiles at him, and she says, "When it comes to that, we'll see. But for now, I can't. Not yet. I have to see how they work, how they do. And if it comes to it, and this is something that is required of me, and if it's something that we need to do to help Apophis, then it will happen." And Alex is silenced again as he just kind of looks off to the side, but slowly nods, and he says, It will not come to that. I can assure you that it will never come to that. And yeah, that's
Cool. And
there you go.
with that, as we zoom out on the two Rose siblings talking, and this big reveal of the identity of Cassie Rose, we zoom out of this beach, this cursed beach of forgotten memories, and now an even darker, more blood-stained history than was already attached to it. And that's going to be the end of our session. Thank you all for coming, guys.
I want to say, one, great job, Chris. We do give Cassie and Alex, or Teddy will hug them when they get back. I don't want there to be any question about this whatsoever.
Sure.
He will hug them when they get back. If others want to join in, great, but he is going to hug them.
Cool.
Just going to put that out there. But yes, holy crap, shit, what? That was
Wacky.
awesome.
You guys get your secrets about Chuck. I get my secrets about Cassie.
It all worked out again, guys. We all did it together.
Mm-hmm.
We all made decisions together.
I don't want to hear it.
I
Anyway.
did tell Chris earlier. I told Chris on break what the reveal was. And
Yeah,
let him
that's
know
why
that
I wanted to send or save that for last, so
Yeah.
we're ending a little
Very
earlier.
cool.
Oh, man. Do we
want to do
Yeah.
end of session questions?
Yes, let me pull those up. End of session.
So was that worth
questions.
the yes? Was that worth the yes?
This was
Ah.
100% worth the yes.
I see.
Yes.
This was the
Of
drama.
course.
Anyway,
Well, that is yet to be seen. It depends on what we do with it.
okay. So, end of session questions 1. Did they conclude the current mystery?
Yes, fuck.
Yes. Did they save someone from certain death, or worse, no, they killed
No.
someone?
Let die.
You actively let someone die.
That's not the...
Did,
Fine.
did we learn something new and important about the world? You learned a little bit more about like the Elapid's base. You learned a little bit
True.
about
True.
you know, Kathy Mulligan's existence, I guess. You about like how gems work, like pull it, like when they die you're able to extract them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So that's, I'm gonna say yes to that one. Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
yourself, Alex did, so I'll say yes. So, and also just general about Anne.
Spoiler alert: Alex already knew. Alex has known
Oh,
Mm.
because Alex is her doctor, so she couldn't really keep it a secret from him. He has
very
known.
interesting. Okay, I'll still say 3 yes. So Mark 2, experience. Chuck is way past leveled up from all of them.
Ding.
Guess who also levels up
No.
begrudgingly?
And becomes a god.
I fucking wish. I'll fight my superior. No, I won't fight my superiors. That's a bad idea.
So let me look. Chuck levels up once, then he levels up twice.
Damn.
So he's leveled up twice from this mystery. So I need to look at what those are. Fun. Any other things you want to say to chat before we boogie on out of here? Thank you all for playing. You guys did an excellent job. You did exactly what I hoped everyone would do in a lot of places. Other places, you most definitely surprised me. You guys did a great job of doing everything I wanted to do. This has been something I wanted to say. I was telling everyone before this session started. A lot of the Chuck backstory stuff is stuff I had written after the first session on Halloween. And so I've been keeping a lot of that locked up in my head for a while now. And so it's been very nice to just let it all out in the open.
The big lesson I feel from this mystery is, have campfire exposition, every session if possible, so that you don't get caught off guard so much. Holy shit.
Yes. Fun.
Yeah.
Epic.
But
Anyone else? I'm gonna post some fan art I made of specific characters during this mystery. I did this about a few weeks ago.
is this going on in the Discord?
Yes, the Discord fan art. So make sure to join the Discord, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does someone have the link?
Someone dropped the link.
I don't.
I do.
Thank you,
Excellent.
Dustin.
So make sure, if you haven't, join the Discord.
But it's also linked below.
Yeah.
It is. It is also in the description.
Fun.
Wow, Kathy Mulligan as an Apophis creature is terrifying.
Yes.
Um,
She's dead now. Anyway, so let's get. Thanks for calling, everyone.
yes.
Have a good time. Have a good night. We'll see you all next week we'll see you all Friday for Sexy Battle Wizards.
Yeah, we will.
Run by
Yeah.
Masha, and then we'll
Yours
see you.
truly, baby. Get ready
Then
for
we'll-
some sexy battle and wizards.
wizards.
Not necessarily in that order.
And then I believe Masha is
af-
next.
Yeah, and then Masha will be
I'm-
running again.
Gonna have
next
a
Tuesday.
real big week and a weekend from here.
Rest
Luckily,
up this
Anne has
weekend.
gone through a major character development for next session, so we will see what's going on.
Yeah.
Next time on Monster of the Week,
Yes.
Anne has to deal with her actions.
Ooh.
Yes. Thank you everyone for sticking with us. The VOD of tonight will be up on Thursday in the afternoon. Please let your friends and other people that you maybe play RPGs with, let them know about us, or let them know about the VODs. We have quite the collection now. They have plenty of stuff to watch if they'd like to. But otherwise, they're absolutely welcome to come to the stream and hang out with us just like you do. But we will catch you on Friday. Again, it's 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and 4 p.m. Pacific. For Sexy Battle Wizards, and that's just a one-page RPG. And actually, it's by Grant Howitt, who also did the Witch is Dead. So
Yes.
that's really cool too. So go check it out, and we'll see you on Friday. But thank you for sticking with us. We appreciate you. Drink some water. Eat some.
Don't go
eat
to
a
haunted
snack.
amusement parks.
Yeah.
Unclench your jaw.
Yes. Take care
Do
of
it.
yourselves. We love you very much.
Relax. Lie down.
Good
I'm
night.
flossing. I'm flossing in my chair.
Bye.